Hello and welcome. I am DM Leech, also known as the Last Hit Point Hero, and you have found your way to my friends and I's favorite little corner of the internet. Ours? We are so very glad you're here and hope that you enjoy your stay. Over the course of the next several months, we will be working our way through Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition adventure module Curse of Strahd. Unwilling to wait, the party push headlong into danger to save the stolen child. Will they save the light, or see it snuffed out? First and foremost, no attempts to make this story child-appropriate have occurred. While necessary changes to problematic material have been rewritten, this is still a dark and stormy gothic horror story. This actual play stream contains adult language, descriptions of violence and light gore, homicide, patricide, suicide, child endangerment, and any number of other dark elements. Our players are here to bring the light. Safety tools are in place for the players, but you as a viewer do not have such a luxury. If you know of any sensitivities to the listed topics, please keep a teleportation spell prepped and ready. Barring that ready to action, kick back, relax, keep all heads, hands, paws, and claws inside the stream at all times, slap that follow button to join Strahd's growing horde, and, above all else, be good. That's the rule. Be good. Numero seguente. Allow me to introduce to you pips and sub-badges and a brand new logo. All thanks, well, the logo is 100% thanks to NiferNif's wonderful work, so thank you so much. Appreciate that, love that, and am looking forward to seeing all the wonderful things that are yet to come. There are emotes in the works, but it takes a little bit to get those approved, so keep your eyes peeled for that. As you might expect for the pips in a stream our size, all we really have so far are either give advantage or disadvantage, so if you want to mess with the party, then dive in, throw those around, and help them out if they need it. The sub-badges are lovely dice, and Twitch may or may not have approved them yet. I don't know for sure. In any event, well, there is one button you should test. You should test the sub button. That's the button to test, so when you get around to testing that, just let me know. Lastly, you may not know these amazing players, so let's change that. Everyone here will say hello, introduce themselves and their character, plug other shows or projects they're participating in, games they play, and this time around, how about your favorite classic horror monsters? Are you a zombie kind of person? Vampires? Skeletons? Ghostface? Michael? Which is it? We shall have to wait and see. But let's begin with our introductions. From the dawn of time they came, moving silently down through the centuries, living many secret lives, struggling to reach the time of the gathering, when the few who remain will battle to the last. The struggle has ended. There can be only one. The one is NiferNif.
Hello, I like that intro because it makes it seem like I'm immortal, which is the complete opposite of all of the teasing that you do for me being so young. So that's nice. This is great. I'm NiferNif. You can find me at Twitter at that and everywhere at NiferNif. I am playing Bright, the Fire Genasi / Tiefling Artificer. I had a really...
I'm sorry to interrupt. You're a little robot-y for me. Is anyone else having that?
Rude.
Since I'm streaming, it's
Do I need to leave and then come back?
I'm hearing that too a little bit.
Should I leave and come back?
Continue speaking. We'll see.
Okay.
Finish your introduction and then bounce and come back.
Okay,
Yes.
I'll do that. So, I play on Tabletop Galaxy, which is a Star Wars RPG game on alternating Wednesdays. That's pretty fun. We are starting a new adventure soon. And then, I'm also part of Not Quite Heroes, which is a actual play podcast with a bunch of different systems now. We're trying a lot of different stuff out. And we, I don't know. Oh yeah, and we're community built. Like a bunch of people have gotten to like create countries that we get to play around in, and it's really fun. And my favorite horror monster Because we're coming up on Halloween, we're getting a bunch of themed books at the preschool where I teach, and there's one that's a parody of the Madeline books, and it starts off in a tall, ugly castle with ugly old spines lived 12 scary monsters in 2 straight lines. The smallest one was Frankenstein, and so that's gonna be my favorite because it's just such a cute little parody book. So
Aww.
Frankenstein, because it's so cute.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful.
Now I have to leave and come back.
Leave and come back. Our cameras may bounce, but they will
Okay.
bounce back.
It's okay, I'm fast.
His name is Barbarian, commander of the armies of the Great Axe, general of the raging greatsword, servant to the true emperor, death itself, father to a stolen son, husband to no one, and he will have his vengeance in this session or the next. His name is the Noir Enigma.
You know, I was gonna be a little bit jealous because you gave Nif a Highlander quote, but I am
Wait, what?
fine. I am fine with Gladiator. That is a good replacement.
I didn't realize mine was a reference. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I still love you, Noir. Do you still love me?
Of course, of course.
Okay, good.
Hi, everybody. I'm Noir. I'm playing Uther. They took my boy, so now I've got to go get my boy back and kill everybody in this windmill. Yeah, you can find me on Twitch as Twitch and Twitter as the Noir Enigma, and I'm starting to actually have shows on my channel, so that'll be fun. But yeah, that's me.
Wonderful, fantastic. Favorite horror monster?
Favorite horror monster is gonna have to be werewolves.
Werewolves.
I love werewolves. They're the best. They're better than vampires.
Okay.
Strahd
Thanks,
is
Susanna
heartbroken.
Grace. We just gotta follow.
Sound like
Hey.
Twilight fighting here.
Hey, Susie.
Hey, welcome to the party.
Sound like Twilight fighting here.
The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is going to hit as hard as life. But it ain't how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done, and if anybody knows that, it's Corndogg McGraw.
Oh wow, what an intro. Sorry, it took my mouse forever to actually press unmute. Well, I'm Corndogg McGraw. I am playing Ficus Fig, the halfling rogue fighter. As for scariest being that existed for me growing up was Agatha Trunchbull. You may remember her from the movie Matilda. She terrified me. And I think like if there's any peak villain type that terrifies me the most, it's someone like her. I was also gonna say werewolves before, but then Noir took that. So werewolves are the best monster, but Agatha Trunchbull will haunt you for your entire life.
Folks, Susie just followed, and if you keep saying werewolves, she'll unfollow. So
Oh,
No. I mean, I totally meant
What?
something other than werewolves. I said Agatha.
what are we
I said
supposed
Miss
to be saying?
Trunchbull.
continuing around the horn, you might hear folk talk about being perfect. I need you to understand something. Being perfect isn't about what face comes up on the dice. It's not about the stats on the character sheet. Being perfect is about being able to look your friends in the eye because you told them the truth with clear eyes and love in your heart, with joy in your heart. Then you're perfect. Isn't that right? 1 in 20. D&D.
Yes, and I mean, it's perfection. That's a real interesting thing. We're not going to talk about perfect because I have not been perfect tonight. I've been messing up the tech behind the screen. The audio was a little goofy, but it's getting better. But before I talk anything about myself, I do want to share something because I should have had it ready earlier and I didn't. So right now I'm going to officially premiere the new logo for you. So here, everyone, check this out. You'll have to look at the Twitch stream because look at that glory, that beautiful purple dye, that strong stance, wide, broad-shouldered, sword in one hand, healing potion in the other. It's just epic goodness, and we love it. So congratulations on the new logo. Hope you
I'm so
everybody likes
excited
that.
that you like it. I made
You
this,
did-
guys.
Yeah, Nif, your logos are
did
or
it.
avatar. I should say avatar. Fair. I should say avatar. Your avatars are awesome.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome. I think I have the tech stuff sorted, so hopefully the audio is clean and clear from now on, and we will have no more glitches, but who knows? It wouldn't be a live stream without it. I'm Gregory, everyone. You might know me as 1 in 20 D&D. I have done all kinds of silly things. Last year, I did a daily vlog. That was nuts. I may do something again like that in the future. We will see. I am thrilled to be a part of this game stream. I told Dane last night in secret. It's probably my favorite, but don't tell anyone else that. And then we also have an amazing, I am also one of the Tabletop Galaxy crew. We get to play Star Wars on opposite Wednesdays from tonight. So do come by and check us out there for your Wednesday night fun, playing some Star Wars. And I'm a happy and proud member of the Dice Tyrants group. We do some really cool stuff. Aether and Steamworks and Zweihander, and all. There's a very secret, super secret, Project X type thing in the works that I'm going to be a part of, and I can't even tell you more than that, but it's going to be fun. So stay tuned for that, and that's me. I can't wait. I am playing Leaf in the Sunlight of Summer, a Tabaxi ranger who is about tired of all of this unnatural nastiness. And for me personally, I have to say that my favorite horror, I'm not a horror movie guy much really at all. I guess I love Dracula. I can't say I love vampires, but I love Dracula. I love the story and it's weird and quirky, and I had a personal experience with it when I was a young guy that got me very fascinated and fond of the lore. But nowadays, if I had to pick out one, it's definitely zombies. I really like things like The Walking Dead, although I'm a few seasons behind. But zombie movies, I kind of get it. There's something about it to me, like that's got to be my favorite horror. Especially with things like Evil Dead and all that campy goodness. There's just so many good zombie movies out there. So I think zombies. Plus, I love calling them Weeble Wobbles because in D&D, that's what they're like.
Awesome. Sorry, so Susie's favorite Van movie, Van Helsing from 2004.
Van Helsing?
My character Christoph in our For Fun game, Gregory. Crossbow based on that movie.
Oh, nice.
That's
not
where
realize
crossbow came
that.
from. So yeah,
I like it.
and I love it. And last but not least, I know you're tired. I know you're hurting. I wish I had an introduction that was classy and inspirational, but that just isn't my style. Pain heals, chicks dig scars, glory lasts forever. Isn't that right, robotic gentlemen?
Absolutely. Hello, I'm Robotic. I will be playing our Paladin tonight. I'm a Warforged. I'm basically trying to understand that, everything's not as simple as kill the bad guys and save the villagers. I'm enjoying the conflict that we got going on, and maybe I'll grow a little bit from it. I don't have any games to plug right now, except for the fact that my current addiction is PUBG. So if you are on PlayStation 4 and want to join me, my gamer tag is the exact same one as my screen name.
Wonderful. Absolutely fantastic. I am so glad you guys are here to join us. And to pick up where we left off, we need Yes,
I
Nifer.
have a question. Were all of the intro lines supposed to be like monologues from movies? Because I recognize literally none of them.
Yes,
Now
yes.
I feel bad.
There was Highlander, there was Gladiator, there was Rocky. What 5, 4?
Right, 5.
Friday Night Lights, I think.
Yes, I think it was Friday.
I-
And then there's one more, but we can get into. We'll show you all these movies later.
I've never heard
The last one was The Replacements,
Yep.
Yeah.
where I don't think I've ever watched The Replacements, but I knew the quote, and it was one of the first ones that I grabbed. So,
I feel so dumb.
that's okay.
I laughed. I knew for an instant she never seen Highlander. I could add that to the list.
Though that's what I loved. I mean, Highlander is such the perfect end of the '80s, like bang bang shoot 'em up movie. Yeah,
With swords.
with swords. It's
That
a bang
sounds
bang shoot
fun.
'em up with swords.
I like swords.
There can be only
I'm trying to
one.
save my son.
Okay, sorry, you're right. You're right. Once upon a time, the group of adventurers are making their way through Barovia. They camped for the night
we
between
still
the
got
village of Barovia
Brightest.
and their pool, a riverside camp where Bright's Vistani family were supposed to meet them. And many nighttime conversations were had. And in the morning, the party, with Irina in tow, reconnected with Stanimir and met Mother Ava, who was a fortune teller. One by one, the party entered her tent and heard a piece of a prophecy, but none of them heard all of it together, except for Irina. Stanimir told a fable to those that were waiting outside, and another Vistana named Aragal, how do you pronounce that?
Yep, Aragol.
Okay, cool. Aragal was at the camp attempting to locate his niece, and Stanimir arranged to lend the group horses if they'd leave the animals with the other encampment. With Aragal, the party set off, pushing themselves to exhaustion, and then when they disagreed about stopping to rest, Uther set off alone.
Stuff like that never happens. That's
fine.
crazy.
That's probably fine. Hey, we got a new follow. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Spectacular.
Woo!
So we shall pick up right where we left off, of Uther walking through those massive gates on his own, and them slamming behind him. Uther. The massive gates slam shut, but the land beyond is shrouded in shadow. While Barovia is far from a colorful place, now it appears to your eyes as completely colorless. You hear a familiar voice in the back of your head, just above the nape of your neck. A voice that you have heard before, that you heard most recently in Donovich's chapel. A voice which sounds oh so much like an old friend. You seek was stolen from you. Cold but comforting hands begin to massage your shoulders. Take only what was taken from you, and I will empower your escape. The stress and tension of the last 24 hours begins to melt away. Leave all else for me, or you will be forced to stand on your own feet. Do we have a bargain?
And should my friends go and take something that belongs to you, how would you have me deal with this?
Kill him.
If you want a guarantee of escape, take only what was taken from you.
Understood.
Good. Run to your boy. You shall not grow tired. And the hands push you forward, and you kind of stumble forward.
I am, I'm just gonna look behind me to see if they're following.
The gates are closed behind you.
Alright, good. Then I am booking it. And I'm not even knocking on the door. I'm straight shoulder checking it. Death
Oh,
just
no.
told me he's got my back, so we're good.
So you're about 6 miles. from
Oh,
the
okay.
window.
Okay, then yeah,
I dare you to sprint for 6 miles.
Run to
That's
your
just-
boy. You You
Duff
shall
just
not
told me.
grow tired.
Duff just told me I'm not going tired. Yes, it looks like straight out of Captain America. He's just going.
Noir
Uther
gets the
starts to
first pip redemption. You got an advantage roll when you
Oh,
want it,
yeah.
Oh hell yeah!
Six
Daddy's
more
causing
build
some.
up to smashing the door.
Uther is
Just-
hauling downhill, and before I go to the other group, you cover the first mile in 3.5 minutes, and you don't even feel winded.
Yo!
Oh gosh.
A
It's
good
gonna be
friend
up to me,
indeed.
right now? Because I'm the only one that's faster than him.
The
No, actually,
I
I'm
hope-
not technically, because I can only do that once, and then he's gone.
And then you have to wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, Courtney and I
So-
can keep up because I have.
So each
a doggo.
turn, I'm running
Okay.
30. Oh, wait, I'm running 30. With
60.
my action. Oh yeah, I can't do anything with the bonus action. I'm thinking of a different character. So yeah,
Oh,
just
that's
60.
right. You still don't have to. I keep thinking that's so terrible. I keep thinking that Uther has the extra movement, and he doesn't have that yet. So I can
Not yet.
keep up with you. All right, we're good.
As for the rest of you,
Also, we're on horses that can move a little bit faster.
Oh, that's right.
I was
I
gonna
forgot.
say that. Yeah, we do have horses.
the gates slam shut behind Uther. A foul wind, like that which pierced the burgomaster's mansion, blows from Castle Ravenloft behind you. Dust and dead leaves swirl up the sides of the closed gate. Behind the 5 of you, you 4 and Irina, a calm voice speaks. Irina, have you considered my offer? Your acquiescence, your consent, your embrace, in exchange for peace. Together we can rule this land. Together we will satiate the insatiable. What say you, Irina? Will you be my Tatiana? Irina just cowers back. You turn, and the voice is coming from Strahd himself, standing in the road, 60 feet away, slowly walking towards you. Irina
I
turns to the rest of
Kicking
you.
the horse.
What should I say?
Oh, I'm like getting the horse ready to leave.
I am going to kind of like click my tongue and just give my horse a little tap to actually try to scoot it between my horse that I'm on between Irina and Strahd.
I'm just grabbing horse reins and pulling. Like, let's go.
Did he actually show up, Strahd?
Yes.
Yeah, he's
So-
here.
All right. So sequence of events. Uther
Don't you
takes
dare
off
shoot him.
through the gate, and like as soon as he gets through the gates, that's when he shows up, or what?
So I tried to use the closing of the gates to time it up. Basically, Uther's on the other side of the gate right now,
Yes.
but he's booking it. So it'd be
Okay.
Naruto
About-
running.
about
Okay,
the
so
time that he started
is
booking
okay.
it
So he's
is when-
through the gate, but he hasn't gone much further.
He's probably quarter mile right now.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to make sure I've got it
You
clear
good?
in my mind here.
Yep.
Because it will definitely change what and Leaf decides to do. Oh God. Can we all act at this point, or?
Irina's turning to you and says, "What should I say?"
I'm grabbing her horse reins. I also have Uther's, but I'm just going. I like leave.
Yeah.
No, we're not gonna deal with him. No, none of that.
Yeah. As soon as Leaf sees that Bright is like looks like she's about to take off with the horses, Leaf's gonna basically do that and chase after Uther. He's kind of torn. He's like,
So the
Shit.
big problem is there are closed gates between you and Uther.
Oh, they closed behind him.
They
Yeah.
closed behind
So
him.
So
they
someone
closed
needs
in
to
front
like
of you.
open the gates. So we're gonna be with Strahd for like a second.
Uh-oh.
Or so.
So I am going to attempt a strength check to bust open the gates.
Sounds good to me. Go ahead.
Look at me being all unprepared. Forgot to open up my name.
Proud of you.
Yeah. There we go. So straight up strength.
Straight up strength.
Can my doggo help him? Cause he's metal.
17.
17's fine. The gate starts to open. Probably enough for about one person to squeeze through at a time.
And as I'm gonna say, as I push them open, I yell at them to leave the horses, get inside.
I was gonna say the gate's not wide enough for a horse yet.
Mhm.
Okay, but we're supposed to give the horses back.
Yeah.
I feel
Irina
like if we
turns.
said that we ran into Strahd, like people would be more understanding of that.
The horses would
Yes.
probably return on their own, to be completely honest, if they can make it there safely. But
Irina will turn and face Strahd. I can't. I won't. You promised to give me time. Time. I have plenty of time.
I do that thing where I stand in front of her again.
mhm.
Oh yeah, I'm still on my horse in front of her and Strahd.
He walks forward another 30 feet. He's about 30 feet away from your wall of horses.
I think Leaf would be like trying to let the horse push the gate open, because horses are stronger than we are.
As he's moving closer, do I get another roll to see if I can widen it?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm doing-
So
I'm doing that thing where my arms are out and I'm just like walking backwards and therefore pushing her backwards.
let's go ahead and have Soul. You can make a strength check with advantage because the horse and
A
Leaf.
horse and a dog.
15.
15 is how many I needed. You push it wide enough for a horse to go through. Just
Oh,
one
it's-
at a time.
Yeah. As soon as there's
Her out
room,
first, her out
Leaf's gonna
first.
take off.
As it starts to push open, you hear Strahd speak. As for the rest of you, yesterday I asked you to help convince her to choose what is right. Today, I demand it of you. In 5 days' time, you shall join me for dinner at my castle. Then you will either have shown her the light of my offer, or I shall levy my anger against you.
Yes, well, our views of right and wrong are different and subjective than yours, so get out of here! Just backing
Uh,
up, please.
Bright, I would like you
Oh no.
to make a
Why did I
wisdom
talk?
saving throw.
Oh
Okay. I'm using my nice by visibility dice. I don't know where my character sheet is, so I don't know what my bonus is. Hang on. I'm gonna use one of my inspirations to re-roll this, please, okay? Because I got a 12. I got a 20.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So 22.
Strahd begins to speak, and he says, Vistana, come to me. And you feel that pull, but you resist it.
But guess what? I've been told there aren't any of those anymore. Here.
You know the consequences, Vistana, of defying me. You will convince her of the right, or it will not just be you, but all the Vistani who will suffer for it. Keep that in mind, little light. Strahd turns to walk away.
I go to say something to him, then he's walking away, so I'm not gonna push it.
Probably wise.
So the gate is open wide enough for one horse at a time. We'll cut
Leaf's-
back to
Yeah, Leaf already
Uther.
went through. As soon as it was open wide enough, he took off.
So even though we were in turns, it wasn't really 6-second turns, so that wasn't 12 seconds. I had a wonderful little timer going, and Uther is now 2 miles down the road.
Yeah.
And so at the 2 mile mark, Uther, you have kept pace. It is now 7 minutes, and you have covered 2 miles. And you are not tired.
Hell yeah. I mean,
Leaf is full
Bella's-
gallop behind him.
Bella's Noir. So I'm gonna look behind me to see if I see anybody trying to approach.
As you turn, you look over your shoulder, and at a full run, it's really hard to get a good look. So why don't you give me a perception check,
Let's do it.
and we will see.
Okay, y'all. Okay.
Since it's 5 visibility day, do we have a better chance of being seen?
8.
8. On one
No,
hand,
no,
But
yes,
it's 5 visibility day.
you can.
I got
you
an
can
18.
Oh,
I got
18.
13
Okay.
plus 5.
All right. So you turn, look over your shoulder, and you can see the gates opening, and you can see one horse at a time kind of firing out. So you know that they are following behind, but they're a bit behind you at the moment.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna continue to book it, and if I see them come within earshot, I am going to tell them, touch nothing, do nothing, do not cost me this.
So for you passing through the gate, and Uther would have seen this as well, but I didn't want to pause to say it at the time. When you pass through the gate, the gate stands at the peak of a high hill. As it slams behind you, you find yourself with an opportunity to view nearly the whole of this sickly land. Roiling mists cling to forest and ground, but from here you see a number of notable landmarks. First is a windmill, your destination, about 6 miles below you along a winding road. It's situated on a small hill itself, blocking part of the forest beyond it. Nearby, perhaps a mile away, on a slightly smaller hill, are what appear to be 3 large standing stones. As this is now coming into evening of Barovia, you can see, even from this distance, a faint light glowing at the center of the stones. Past that, another 6 miles as the crow flies, is a walled city. Irina, on horseback next to you, points. She says, "Vallaki!" She gestures in the distance. I've never been there, but Father said the burgomasters there hold a special hatred for Lord Strahd. They defy his dread with all sorts of different festivals. She points to the southwest, over her shoulder, almost behind, and says, "There, that dark mass next to the river. Father told me that just as Strahd struck Berez, he would one day strike Vallaki, if they didn't learn to live under the Undying Lord's rule."
Sounds
That-
like a place would be safe for now.
Safer not in Vallaki?
If they don't like him and you don't want to be found by him. Sorry.
Well,
Look,
they,
okay.
they thumb their nose at him. They mock him. I don't think they have long.
They sound like my kind of people.
I suppose we'll find out. I've never met them.
Have I met them?
You've been through, so Bright has been through Vallaki. Vallaki does not like the Vistani. Vallaki doesn't like the Vistani because the Vistani are not touched by Strahd. They don't get chased by the monstrosities. They don't get hunted by the wolves. They can travel however they would like after dark. They despise that. And so there is, Aragal's camp is just south of Vallaki, close enough to be a waypoint. Usually, the Vistani traveling that direction would, instead of going through Vallaki, would go around through the forest and through Aragal's camp. And Aragal camps with Dusk Elves, who are also there, outside of Vallaki,
cool.
also outside of it. So that is what you see as you begin racing downhill. Given the speeds of horses and the current speed of Uther, so it would be he's
Is
at 2.
Uther running faster than a horse?
He not, but he is running really damn fast.
Mathematically, he's held the world record for the fastest mile. So
Yes, he is 4 seconds ahead of the
That
fastest
is
mile.
what happens when you take my boy.
He is 4 seconds ahead of the fastest mile, and he's maintaining pace. So, now, those of you on horseback, your horses have already been traveling all day. Yes, you start to gallop, but it immediately becomes incredibly difficult to maintain it without perhaps injuring the horses. So, I need everyone to make an animal handling check
oh lord.
as they try and push their horses harder
Of
than the
course.
horses want to go.
You can
The
do
horses
it.
are a mood right now.
Can I just hop off?
Just sprint yourself. Oh, I'm gonna roll my dice. I'm not gonna use roll 20. None of that. I used my pretty dice today. That was a
Wow.
bad choice.
Ooh, dirty 20
Glad
for
that I used
Leaf.
roll 20 because that was a natural 1 on the die. So
Leaf is
Oh,
leaned
that's why I
over
rolled that.
his horse and just like sort of purr whispering into its ear, like, I know you're,
Yeah,
I
I'm
know
sure
you're
the
tired, friend,
horse
but
looks
this is
bad.
really important. Please give me all the strength you've got.
So as we go through that, and then what did you get, Bright?
I rolled a 13.
13. Everyone passed the first. So a horse can maintain its gallop for a mile safely. After that, it starts to get much harder. So you guys push ahead to where you're a mile down the road, and in that time, Uther is now essentially 2 miles ahead of you. So he's halfway there, and you're starting to catch up.
And we're living on a prayer?
You are living on a prayer. Do you want to keep pushing the horses that are starting to tire?
I mean, probably.
If so, then you can make another animal handling, or you can slow down for a mile and make it easier next time.
I'll slow down.
Nah, we gotta keep going.
We gotta keep going. Okay, that's last words for these horses.
All right. So if you want to push, give me another animal handling check.
Uh-oh.
yeah,
That doesn't look
there's
good.
a whole lot of uh-ohs happening right now.
Uh-oh. Oh, no.
10, 10, 13 is not good.
I got 9.
And then
Oh,
Leaf,
dear.
you as well.
Oh, I didn't. Okay. Because I succeeded last time, I didn't
Unless
realize
you're
you
gonna
wanted
walk.
another one.
Oh yeah, everybody.
How about another dirty 20?
Another dirty 20.
Hey, roll 20 likes me right now.
Mm.
So Leaf,
It's because I'm talking to my horse. That's why.
you're able to encourage and convince your horse to keep going. The rest of you, your horse is slow to a trot. They are foaming, they are tired, they're breathing heavy. Irina's horse does as well. Actually, no, Soul, your horse keeps at a gallop also. So the two of you are able to cross another mile, putting you...
I'm gonna look across to Ficus. She's one of the slowed down ones too, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay.
So Ficus, Irina, and Bright all slowed down.
I am going to call up my Steel Defender, whose speed is 40 rather than 30, and also is immune to being exhausted. And I'm going to just kind of look at Ficus and be like, can you get to him? And pull her off and put her on the Steel Defender and just push the Defender ahead.
Okay.
On it.
And I'm also going to give her the +1 weapon that I made this morning for
Okay.
her. and just
as I
I'm
get
pulling
pulled
you off
off.
the horse and shoving you like a new crossbow, or which weapon were you primarily using? I would have made your whatever weapon it was, a melee or a
Probably
ranged.
daggers.
A dagger.
So I'm shoving a dagger into your
Dagger,
hand that you've never
probably.
seen, and just go and pushing the robot, and the robot's just gonna sprint. The robo dog.
So your
And
steel
then I stay
defender,
with Arena.
who is currently a knight that looks suspiciously like Soul, is
It's
just
Babe Soul.
with Ficus over its shoulder. Doesn't quite run as fast as a horse.
There is a nice little foot place for her to just perch.
Yeah, I thought you said you gave her stirrups on it, and
Yes.
yeah.
Okay.
So we've got the steel defender is
Said
chugging.
over shoulder, and I was like, fireman carry, but no. But
Not
anyways.
quite as fast as a horse,
Okay.
but able to keep running. So you and Irina are slowed down at 2 miles back.
Yep.
Uther is at 3.5 miles, and Soul and Leaf start catching up to Uther. You can see that he's not that much further ahead of you. Uther, you're still chugging along, and because of the bargain you've made, you're not growing tired. You hit the 4th mile at 15 minutes.
As I'm running and I see these two catching up, I'm going to say, I have the means to get my boy back. I have conferred with my master. Do not ruin this for me. And then he's just gonna take off again.
Okay.
How close are we to him? Because Leaf
You're
probably
still a
would have
half mile
started.
back. He's holding that for when you guys get close.
When,
not
wait,
quite
when would
shouting
Uther
distance.
say that?
When you're close enough.
When you're in earshot, he's going to yell that at y'all.
Oh yeah,
They're
because
passing the animal handling.
Leaf probably would have called out before that, when he thought that Uther would hear him if he yelled.
He's definitely yelling something, but you probably can't make out the words just yet.
Okay.
Not actually sure how far a yell carries.
I mean, I'm sort of at a disadvantage. I'd probably have an easier time hearing him than he would hearing me.
Yeah. Let's just say you can tell he's yelling at the moment.
Yeah.
But he's going to repeat it, as he said, when you guys get there. Roll for yelling volume.
Yes, do it.
So, Soul and Leaf, you are still pushing ahead. Are you going to push the horses even further? They are foaming. They are exhausted. Horses are not meant to gallop for this long.
Boy.
You're pretty sure that if you push them further, they may not recover.
Yeah, I think I
Do
would
it.
like to make an
Push 'em.
insight check.
Push him.
Okay, what are we checking?
If I'm aware of that.
With the 20s you've been rolling on animal handling, I'm fine.
All right, so I think Leaf knows enough about animals to recognize this, that he's kind of pushed it to the limit, and so with a kind of a curse under his breath, he's like, he just to himself, he kind of he's like, all right, friend, and he taps the horse on the side of the neck and reins it in, comes as quickly to a stop as the horse can safely and comfortably stop. And the moment it's slowed enough, Leaf is gonna vault out of the saddle and start running.
Okay. sounds
Okay,
good.
I'll just pick up your horse as well as Uther's and Ficus's. It's fine.
Right,
I mean, the
right now,
horse would
Bright's
probably
at the
just
back with
stand
Irina,
there.
and they're just walking with horses.
Yeah. I'm assuming these are well-trained horses, not wild stallions that are just gonna bolt at the first opportunity.
Soul, are you going to push your horse further?
You really do want. You know what? It's your people who are going to be mad at us.
Oh shoot, you're right. Ah, I'm a terrible person. They're not my people. They keep telling me that. It's fine.
Oh, okay.
I am unadapted right now.
Oh, unadopted. Okay. No, No, as soon as I see Leaf hop off his, I'm gonna hop off as well, and I'll just start a brisk jog after I
So
finish
then-
the horse.
The little robot just races past you then.
It's a
So a
weird
couple
day.
things happen. So Leaf and Soul, you essentially are 3 miles in. Uther is 4 miles up. Bright is probably 1.5 miles at this point. And
Woo!
coming up pretty close at that 3 mile mark is the little robot Soul tick, 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 with Ficus riding on the back.
It can dash, so it's going pretty fast.
Dashing at that speed, it is going pretty fast. Both the horses that Leaf and Soul got off of are just going to very slowly just lay down on the ground,
Oh,
just to
no.
rest, as you two keep running. Uther hits the 5 mile mark, not slowing down. And I need Soul and Leaf to make a Constitution saving throw as you try and push yourselves.
Saving throw?
Yes.
17.
And 16. You guys can push without getting... Oh, Leaf, remember, you're exhausted. So yours is actually
Oh wait, I'm exhausted? Oh no.
Remember the level of
Exhausted does-
exhaustion.
That's right.
Oh, it's
I
not saving
forgot.
throws?
No, it's
It's
not
only
saving
skill
throws,
checks.
it's
Oh,
only
ability
skill.
checks, yeah.
It's
the
not.
third
It's
level.
not until the next level
Third
where
level.
it's third level is where it hits
Okay.
Phew.
saving throws.
Phew. Thank you.
So
Good call,
Just-
Miss.
due to a quirk in
Gotcha.
Raw, you are running
got
at full speed even though you're exhausted.
Adrenaline, it'll get you.
Adrenaline's getting you there. Uther, you come up to the windmill itself. You can see, and I want to
Can
make
I
sure
just
that
say, for flavor though, excuse me for interrupting. As
No,
soon
go
as he even thought he was within the like distance that Uther might have heard him, Leaf would basically start yelling at Uther like, things like, Uther, slow down! We can't help you if you're on your own! Like, not trying to necessarily tell him to stop, like, just don't go there, but more just of like, we're here to help! Why are you running away on your own? That sort of thing.
Uther, you definitely can tell they're yelling in your direction, but I really don't think you'd be able to hear it.
You said I was close to the windmill. That's all he cares about at this point. Gotta get my boy.
So as you begin to approach the last half mile, the old Svalich Road transitions here from being a winding path through the Balanaka Mountains to a lazy trail that hugs the mountainside. It descends into the fog-filled valley itself. Before you is an onion-domed edifice leaning forward and to one side as though trying to turn away from the stormy gray sky. You see gray brick walls and dirt-covered upper windows on the higher floors. A decrepit wooden platform encircles the windmill above, a flimsy doorway leading to the building's interior. Perched on a wooden beam, the vanes of the windmill are very lazily turning, not quickly, but slowly, although there's no real wind to speak of. As you get even nearer, you can see perched on the beam right above the door, a raven that is hopping frantically from one side of the entrance to the other, just cawing as you approach.
Okay, that's actually a really good raven caw.
Yo.
Good job.
Uther, you're about to approach the door itself.
Yeah, I just kind of growl to myself at the raven, warn your masters all you want. Everything in that house belongs to death, save Tobias. And he's just going to just storm it.
So to give us the timing of what's going on, Soul and Leaf, who are not tired at the moment, are a mile down the road getting ready to catch up. We're going to have Ficus arrive. She has just passed Soul and Leaf on the back of the incredibly quick little robot thing. So you are a quarter mile up from them, and Bright is at the rear trying to convince all of the horses to get up. She is still 3 miles away.
I've decided I'm just counting this one out. Sorry, y'all. Y'all don't have your healer. It's fine.
As
Hopefully
Ficus
Solaire.
passes Leaf, he'll call out to her. He's like, "We're not gonna stop him. The best we can do is try to help him."
That's our relationship in a nutshell, I think.
At the
And
moment,
Uther, you arrive at the windmill itself, and I think you should be able to see it.
I can see it. I'm there.
gotta zoom way out.
It's pretty.
So you come running up to the door, a raven cawing at you frantically. You running straight toward it to charge through it? You running up to it to open it? What are you planning?
Oh, straight through it to charge through it. There is no door.
With 6 miles of momentum.
As you come running to the door itself, the raven, it's hopping back and forth, and when it sees you're not even slowing down, it is going to dive off and fly straight towards your face.
This is gonna be like that gif of the time a baseball hit a bird.
I mean, do I need to make an unarmed attack against a bird?
Just run right into
I
it.
will punch that bird in its motherfucking mouth. Wait, hold on. No, because I might kill the bird, and everything here belongs to them.
Does
So I'm just gonna.
a 19
not-
hit you?
I mean, yeah.
This raven flies in your face, starts flapping its wings, and pecks you right between the eyes, dealing a point of damage.
Uther! The messengers are telling you something! Listen to them!
Just still going through that door. Like, it pecked me as I was running. Like, I'm not stopping.
Give me a strength check.
Oh, if he fails this, I'll forget.
That is going to be 16 plus 5. So 21.
21. You bash through the door and it just shatters under your weight. Let me change the lighting for you.
You made train sounds.
I'm going full running back with my characters this weekend, it turns out. Like, I juked the guard in one campaign, and now I'm fucking going full back on this one.
Sorry, I had a little bit of trouble opening the door for you.
No worries.
You break through the door, and the door shatters. You hear kind of a, what was that? From above you. The ground floor has been converted into a makeshift kitchen, but the room is filthy. Baskets and old dishware are piled everywhere. Adding to the clutter is a chicken coop, a small trunk with holes cut in it, a pretty wooden cabinet with flowers painted on its doors, and in addition to the clucking of chickens, you hear that, what was that? From above. The sweet smell of pastries blends horridly with a stench that burns your nostrils.
Oh no.
The awful odor comes from an open upright barrel in the center of the room. Warmth issues from the brick oven against one wall, and the crumbling staircase ascends the wall across from it. Shrieks and cackles come from above.
I will just yell out, "Where is my son?" And I'm just going to go towards wherever I heard the voices asking questions is. Like, if there's a door that's closed and they're in the room, he's fucking kicking it down with his axe.
How do you kick something down with an axe?
He's with his axe in his hand is what I meant to say.
Sure.
Just shut up.
As you kind of turn to look around the room to see which way to go, a woman starts to descend the staircase to your right. She looks like the quintessential ugly stepsister. She kind of squints your way. Are you here to buy? I heard you making an awful lot of noise.
He just placed the axe at her. Everything in this house is claimed except my son. Give him to me now.
Your son? You're here for a child. She looks at you and sees that you're a Goliath. Your skin, that whitish, ashy gray, 7 feet tall. We have none like you.
The boy isn't of my kin, but he is of my. He just marches real close to her. He is my son. I don't care what you have here because it is claimed, but I will have my boy, and I will have him now.
So bitter. Come with me. She turns to go up the stairs.
He follows.
Sure, I take you to the right one. The second story of this is where the grindstone for the windmill is, and it's slowly turning. But rather than grinding, there is laying on it a small figure. A little girl is bound to the stone and spinning as it spins. Her head toward the center, her feet outward, and next to it is a second ugly stepsister. And every time a rotation goes around, she reaches out with a needle to prick the child as she spins. And every time she does, there's this whimper. And these quiet tears. The one leading you turns and says, "Is this one yours?"
This one is not mine. Keep moving.
Nope. No, but I want that one. Let me adopt that one.
We're gonna have a whole family here, huh?
Very
Look,
well.
Whole
we
troop
must
of
not hurt
kids.
children.
We don't know that.
She leads you up to the 3rd floor.
I'm 3 miles away.
And the 3rd floor, you see a dilapidated bedroom of sorts. There is a cramped circular room with broken down clothes in one corner. The bed is just a moldy and tattered canopy bed. And underneath a tarp are a number of boxes stacked. She pulls the tarp off, and you see underneath the tarp, they weren't boxes, they were cages. And in the top one is a young boy, maybe 8 years old. He says, "This one."
These are not mine. Where is Tobias?
Well, describe him to me. You're not particularly helpful. I've showed you everything we have in the mill.
Young, small child. Fits in the palm of my hand, and
Loaf of bread size.
he is very difficult to He cries, and he enjoys stories to make him stop. He's got little sprouts of hair. Tiny, but so soft, and his eyes are green. He doesn't have any teeth yet, but he's the sharpest little fingernails. He should be wearing gray fabric. I made it from the sleeve of one of my tunics. Where's my son?
Oh, he sounds... She kind of thinks for a second. Tasty. I believe...
Hand to the throat immediately.
I believe Mother Morgantha took that one down to the stones.
You will take me there, and you will...
I have things to attend. A
Very
mile
difficult.
down the hill. You should have seen it as you approached. And I'm going to pause right there as Ficus makes it to the foot of the windmill.
Ficus will...
You see a shattered door.
Yeah, Ficus is gonna hop off this armored baby soul and just leave it right here because she doesn't actually know how to direct it. Like, Bright gave it a command to chase after Uther, and we have done so. And Ficus is just gonna peer her way inside. And then, like, as quietly as she can, kind of follow the very obvious path upstairs based on, like, shrapnel and where she can hear voices coming from.
It's very
And
easy
just-
to hear.
Yeah.
Even with the sound of the windmill itself, it's still not difficult to hear the voices above. Do you want to make me a stealth check, please?
Yes.
If the doggo goes with, does the doggo have to stealth?
If it's going to follow her, but because of the instructions, I assume it's just going to stand at the windmill. I don't really know how independent that thing is.
No, but I'm wondering if
be-
the vagueness of go with her would continue.
Probably not. We'll
'Kay.
we'll leave it at the door.
Stays at the door.
It's
Good
a
dog.
9 because I'm exhausted.
Oh, buddy.
So
Do
you
you have inspiration?
I do, but I'm not going to use it for this. It is
That's
what
valid.
it is.
you take a step in and you see a kitchen that's in the middle of baking. You can smell pastries, but there's also a bitter, acrid smell in the air as well. Not all pleasantness and sweetness. There's something foul in the air too. There's stairs leading up to your right that go higher into the windmill.
I guess she will follow the voices.
Okay.
And be, like, above table. I'm very glad that there's that terrible smell because it would have been very hard for Ficus to not just stand in here with the pastries and just be like, doop 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 doop.
I love you.
Oh, and
Love
Ficus,
so
since
much.
you're not quite as single-minded as Uther was, you do recognize other things in here. You see that there are cuts of wolf meat hanging from the walls. There are de-winged ravens getting ready to be prepared. There are you can see some of the finished product, and it's very much the items that were on Grammy Morga's cart.
Yeah. She's
See
gonna remember
fire
the
in our
things that
future.
Bright told her not to eat. And just kind of go up the stairs.
As you turn up the stairs, there
what I told you not to eat was any of it. Just don't eat any of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
At the top of the stairs, you can hear shouting above as Uther is demanding that somebody take him somewhere. And there is this quintessential ugly stepsister standing in this room. And she's standing at the grindstone of the windmill, but rather than it actually grinding, it's just spinning. You, again, not being quite as single-minded, you can see set into the beam of the windmill a gem of some kind, about the size of your fist as a halfling. And as it turns, you can just see that that gem pulses with each turn. And as a small child that is bound to the stone turns again, the ugly stepsister-looking creature looks up at you and says, "Oh, you're a little one, aren't you?" And pricks the child as it turns. And it cries very softly.
How old does the child appear to be?
Probably 9 years old.
Ficus is just gonna kind of take in the room for a second. And just look to Uther and see if, like, Uther is paying her any mind.
At this point, Uther comes storming down the stairs. So Uther, you guys are caught up to time, and you're storming down the stairs.
Turn around. This isn't our concern. It has nothing to do with Tobias. Let's go.
Ficus is going to stare at what's binding that little boy
Little
to
girl.
that chair. Little girl, sorry. This 9-year-old child to the chair. And she is going to kind of just, like, put out there that she wishes that she could, like, in her mind, she's going to put out there that she wishes that she could undo the binding and just, like, stare at this so, like, the kid can make the choice if he wants, or if she wants to flee. And with that, she is going to cast Mage Hand.
Do I
And she
see
is
this
going
casting?
to. What was that?
Do I see the casting? Like, is there verbal and
That is
somatic
what I'm
components?
checking real quick. It does
I
have
was gonna
verbal
say-
and somatic components.
As
So
soon as he sees that, he's pushing Fig. Fig, no. Please. Trust me. Please.
a second ugly stepsister comes down from the stairs. Says,
Bella, are they still here? Hey, you two. What does the sign on the out-of-business brothel say?
Oh no, this is a terrible pun.
We're closed, beat it. We're tired of you. Get out of here.
That wasn't funny.
and Bella goes,
Yeah, beat it.
Fig.
Oh boy.
Everyone
Ficus
here.
will pull her mage hand back, but she's going to keep it up.
so it's a little tough. You start the
Or if it
hand
was, like,
motion is
interrupted,
necessary,
then
and
I
it's
will-
interrupted. So
Yeah.
it's a question of if you want to finish it or not. Bella, the ugly stepsister that was there, is side-eyeing you pretty hard.
And then I'm gonna side-eye Uther
So much side eye.
and follow him down, just like kind of like lead the way.
Thank you. And he's going to gesture for Fig to start heading down the stairs because he does not trust having Fig to his back.
Ficus will go downstairs. But as she passes Uther, she's just going to mutter, "There are more kids in this world than just yours." And she's going to kind of like angrily stomp down the stairs. And like he could start saying something, but she's very much in like the I can be single-minded too and not listen to my friends mode. And so she's just like stomping ahead.
I'd like to imagine she
I love
mutters
her.
that under her breath. That's
Oh yeah,
you.
yeah, she's petty enough. She would mutter that.
You're not the only stubborn one here.
As she like turns her back, he's gonna try and start to explain. I've been blessed by death on the stipulation that we leave everything except Tobias. Everything except Tobias untouched here. My blessing goes away if we begin to try and rescue everyone here.
Well, the door doesn't look untouched. I just continue stomping. She clearly has no idea where we're going either. Like she wasn't there for that part of the conversation. She's just stomping out.
Yeah, he's just trying to get her out of the windmill. After they're all out of the windmill, he's going to take the lead because he knows where to go now. Right?
And Ficus will keep up because she's hella fast.
Hell yeah. And so once they get out of the windmill, I'm guessing it won't take long for everybody else to catch back up. Or-
So you guys leaving the
I'm 3
windmill
miles down the road. I've
Is
never
when-
seen you again.
is when Leaf and Soul arrive as you are exiting the windmill.
I know where Tobias is. Follow me.
But we just got here.
He's not at the windmill, and there is nothing of concern there. We need to press on.
Oh, there
Are the
is
ravens-
plenty of concern there. There is plenty, but we should go get Tobias first.
Are the ravens
is a-
still around?
There's a raven above the door. That the one that swooped and pecked at Uther has returned above the door, the remains of the door, and is calling.
Leaf is gonna look around for other ravens.
Just the one.
Okay.
I'm going to ask what concern. I'm going to look over away from Uther and say, what concerns you about this windmill?
Ficus knows that Solaire would instantly go back inside and handle that shit if he knew. So Ficus is going to say, we'll worry about it once we've retrieved Tobias.
Have you, Uther, have you come to your senses yet? Or are you gonna go charging off without us again?
You say come to my senses as if I was the one here who was mad. If you don't want to follow me, if you don't have the conviction to stay on task, if you don't have the concern about Tobias to run until you can't run anymore, then don't follow me. There is nothing wrong with me. I am not out of my senses. I am determined because there is someone that I love that has been taken.
And if you fall on your own, there's no one there to help you. Where are we going?
If I left it up to you and this group, we would be sleeping right now. It's no different if I fall alone than if I fall with comrades who aren't as concerned or determined as me. We are going to this stone. This is the location of my son, and we will rescue him, and then we can do whatever you want. We can go and he looks at Fig and he goes, we can take care of other matters. And there's like a look of gratitude on his face when he says it. But right now, there is no rest. There is no stopping until we get to Tobias. And if running 6 miles non-stop does not prove my conviction that I don't know Leaf, what will? And then he continues moving.
As you start to walk away from the windmill, you hear the 2 sisters behind you once again. And in front of them are 3 children. They walk down the stairs, and Ophalia looks disgusted. And Bella looks sick. Ophalia, the one that Uther strangled, walks to the door and says,
You have friends in high places, don't you, Barbarian? We've received a message. They all walk.
and the 3 kids are pushed out the door. They kind of stumble, looking at the group of you.
I just look at the witches and I go, no, I only have one friend, and he is the only one that counts.
Leaf is dumbstruck at this point. He's just like, his mouth is agape. He's looking at the children and these, grizzly looking old women, looking at Sol, looking at Uther and Ficus, and just like really not understanding what just happened. Where did you come from? Why are there children in this windmill? What is this darkness?
The 3 kids kind of look up between you all and run to hide between you and the 2 stepsisters. One of them, the little girl, you can see these bright silks that are underneath the dirty clothes that she had on. You recognize it's a color not unlike what you've seen Bright wearing before. Your experience is enough to know that this is probably a Vistani.
Yeah.
Sol walks up to the witches and he looks at them dead in the eye and says, "What were your intentions with these children?"
We don't have time.
Not your concern.
And they kind of try to slam the door, but it's broken, so it just falls sideways on the hinge.
Wish you had mending, don't you?
I got it, but I'm 3 miles down the road.
Sol walks over to the kids. They look injured.
Not severely.
Probably more tormented than injured.
More Yep.
Yeah, Leaf's gonna similarly give a very hard look at these women and he says, "Your days are numbered." And then he's gonna turn towards Uther and says, "Quick, lead on."
Wait. Soul's gonna ask Ficus for some food for the kids.
I guess I'll hand it over.
Is
Pulling it
Uther
right
gonna
out of her
start
boot.
moving?
Here, kids,
yeah,
eat this food
Uther
I
is-
just pulled out of my shoe.
Yeah.
That's comforting.
You can see a mile down the hill, up another hill, are a set of 3 standing stones. And I'm certain that Uther's already walking that way. He was just waiting for the opportunity to say Uther's already walking that way.
Right. Yeah, Leaf's basically gonna keep pace with him.
Is it like a
And-
mile past the windmill, or are they doubling back so that I can maybe meet up soon?
You'll be catching up.
Okay, cool. Can't wait to come back into the scene.
Soul's gonna stay behind with the kids.
So what I'd say is because you can't run them the whole time, you'd probably be able to trot the horses to catch up. So about the time that
Oh, yeah.
Uther, Soul, Leaf, and them are heading down toward the rocks is when you arrive and you see these 3 kids just kind of standing there.
Sweet.
Hello?
I'm lost. So I just kind of look around for Uther because he's the one with the plan.
You see Uther and the rest of them down the hill, not too far away.
Are they-
Irina looks, and she looks at the group that's there and looks at everyone else, or looks at you, Bright, and says, "I'll leave the horses here. I'll stay with them."
Cool.
Is Soul still with the kids?
Yeah,
Soul, was following. Soul, you gonna stay? Or
No, I stay with the kids. I would I'll look at Irene and tell him, find out everything that happened to these kids before I get back. And then I try to reassure them a little bit that they're okay.
Hold up. We're not leaving Arena with kids alone again. We're not.
Yeah.
That was my
I
plan.
was just about to say that.
Yeah, I was like, really? This lady
Nope.
again?
Can Leaf
I'm
call
gonna
back?
stay with the kids. Soul
Put the
can go.
children
I'll
on
stay
the
with kids.
horses.
Irina helps them up on the horses, and do you want me to follow?
It's your choice. And I'm kind of talking to the kids. I am gonna ask if the little Vistani one is Arabelle.
Yes.
It's okay. We're cousins, okay? Your father was at my family's camp looking for you, okay? We're going to help you.
Okay. I didn't like that.
I didn't either. Okay? And I just give her hand a little pet, and then I guess kind of put the kids on horses and lead them to a place that is not at the standing stones, but I'm within sight to keep an eye on both the kids and to go be back up.
Okay.
But I'm
So you're
staying primarily with the kids and kind of pushing Soul on of you're going to be more use in this fight. Go forward, go.
So
I don't know what it is, but there will be a fight if it's Uther.
I'll move at pace to catch up.
So you guys all catch up. Uther at his probably full-blown run toward the rocks. You arrive at this set of standing stone. There are 3, 15 feet tall, jutting at crooked angles from the ground. In the center, there's a smaller version of the others. Although it's too far away to tell what it is for certain, a light glows in the center of the standing stones, and there's a hunched figure there as well. As you near, you can see Grammy Morga in the center of the stones, pouring something into a bowl at the foot of the central stone, with a shape of a crying child in one arm.
Oh,
Can
booking it.
I was just gonna say, I don't
Yeah.
think Leaf's even gonna give her a chance to find out why we're here. I think he's just gonna shoot her as soon as he gets in range.
This is just one big game of get down, Mr. President.
If Uther
Actually,
sees
no.
Leaf do that-
No, I'm gonna as firmly as I can. I'm gonna grab Uther's arm and say, "Just a moment. Get there as quickly as you can.
Good luck.
I will cover you." And then I'm gonna like shove him towards the woman.
So there's a jump that I need to make to get down there. Is that what I'm hearing?
No, it's just at the top of a hill. So you
Wow.
basically came down and came right back up. the hill.
Okay.
Look, if he wants to jump on somebody, I think you should let it.
I am just going to say, give me back my son now.
Oh yeah, I was not gonna let that conversation. Not Leaf's not
Correct.
interested in talking with this individual. Is not as she. Yeah, no.
Oh. Okay. So
I was
okay,
saying to Uther.
I think I see clearly what's happening here. All right. So Uther, seeing what you're trying to communicate to him, is going to look to
You
Leaf
would
and says,
so you would probably see Leaf is livid at this point. Like even though he's maybe a little more tactically minded in his approach to things, he's probably almost as angry as Uther is. He's just
All right,
trying to contain it. So he's like very clearly like he's like white knuckled on your arm. Like
Okay.
he's like, get as close as you can, and when you're ready to make your attack, I will fire behind you.
So in return, he looks at you like, and the eyes are starting to go black a little bit.
Nice.
And he says, touch nothing. Do nothing. This place is claimed. My master has given me strict instructions. Reclaim Tobias and leave.
I just wish to see that foul creature dead.
She is not yours, and death will see her when it's time. It is not time.
Leaf's a little confused, but he's just gonna let you go at that point.
Yeah, he's gonna look at you. There's like, even though the eyes are blackening, he's kind of trying his best to soften up. Like, buddy, do me a solid. We got to get this done before Soul gets here. So he walks over and goes, "Give me back my son now."
Grammy Morga turns from whatever it was she was doing. And she has in one hand where she was sprinkling, there's this glass jar. And it has this strange, glistening, oily substance in it. She turns to face you.
Ow! You again. The child liked the song you wouldn't let me sing. A shame.
Give Tobias back to me now. My master has made a deal with you and yours. Give him to me. He is claimed, as are you.
A curious phrase. Your master. The one who commanded us to do what we must.
You serve a puppet. You serve an undead thing. I serve the only force that matters in life, the only true inevitability, the one thing that bonds us all. Give me my son before that which is inevitable empowers me to introduce you to him.
Funny thing about shared masters. We know the bargain as well.
She hands the child out.
Uther takes him, he looks him over.
Tobias is much happier to see you than he was moments ago.
So Leaf like had knocked an arrow and was essentially waiting for Uther to like make a move or whatever, but he was slowly approaching from behind, so he probably just barely caught the last couple words of that, and then sees the old woman, this crone, pass the child back to Uther. He's a little confused at this point, but he's
Big
still
same.
yeah, he's still like at the ready, arrow knocked, and just waiting for any signal from Uther.
Uther has tears running down his face, and he's just checking on the boy. Are you hurt? Are you well?
And this is when Tobias says his first words. I'm fine, Dad. Get over yourself.
That's my boy. No, he's just puts his axe back up. His eyes go white again. They're normal. Yeah, and he's just gonna walk away.
So you turn to walk away as Sol arrives, and Ficus and Leaf, one of the things you see amongst these stones, and I'm going to give you the rest of the description, because again, Uther's very single-minded in this, so he's not going to be paying attention. Each of the 3 stones depicts a different set of images. The first is covered in ravens, eyes, and scrying stone. The second, wolves' teeth and spears. The third, spiders, hands, and balls of yarn.
Hold up, we lost Rob.
He's coming back.
And in their center is a defaced stone. And both of you, it reminds you greatly of your very first campsite when you arrived in Barovia, except on a much grander scale. While that one seemed like something of a roadside shrine, this one is much, much larger, much more established, much more important. The one in the center is smaller than the other 3. There's deep gouges marring its surface, and it's covered in a glistening, oily substance. Sitting beneath it is a small altar, no more than a foot square. And on that altar is a bowl that apparently Grammy Morgan had been filling with this oily substance. It appears to be an onyx bowl with, let me see, I think I have a picture of it.
I got distracted trying to fix the stream. What was the third stone covered
It
with?
was
third
ravens,
stone.
wolves, and yarn?
It was spiders, hands, and balls of yarn was on
Got
the
it.
third.
Got it. Thank you.
And then that is what you see.
And it's similar to the one we saw at the first set of stones?
It's the one that you saw broken and left behind.
Mm-hmm.
Except instead of being red, this one's black.
Okay.
The first one was red? Oh, that's so much cooler than I pictured it. Also, side note, I didn't get to see the cool bowl, but Leaf saw the cool bowl at the first one. Was it the same type?
Leaf, it looks like the same type of bowl, just different colors.
Okay.
That would have been cool.
Sorry.
It's fine. It's a good character choice you made way back then. Niffer just likes to know everything.
Right. So Leaf is really, really confused. He's like, he was fully expecting to attack this individual, and the fact that Uther has just like walked away has got him sort of almost in like stunned silence at the moment.
Oh, there I am. I'm back.
Phew.
Just decided, like, right through a pivotal moment, too. Did it freeze again?
Yeah, you're frozen.
God.
We can hear you fine, but we can't see you.
Oh,
Do you have your camera turned on?
well, it's a good thing that Sol didn't make it to the Standing Stones yet anyway.
So Ficus and Leaf, you guys can kind of look at the standing stones, and Grammy Morga walks around to the back of that center stone, just ignoring your presence.
Got another follow,
Is she
y'all.
Hey, it's a
saying
great
any-
day.
Thank you, Heart
or
Persona.
like
Oh, yeah,
does
it's
it look
Harper.
like she's casting spells or anything like that?
No spell casting, no talking.
And what is Uther doing?
Uther is walking away with Tobias under his arm.
Yeah, he's just talking to his boy.
Um,
Nothing in this world, nothing in any of the worlds beyond will ever stop me from finding you.
I
I
think
get
Leaf is going to be backing away. Like he's kind of lowered his bow. Maybe he still has the arrow knocked, and he's sort of like backing away from the stones. Very confused, trying to figure out what is happening. Where's Ficus?
With you at the stones.
Yeah. Ficus is just kind of looking around at this point, but her eyes are more on Granny than anything because she is very suspicious of what Granny is up to.
Okay, so as you walk around this, so she temporarily goes out of your view as she back of the stone, and as you circle around to keep your eyes on her, you don't see her.
Ah,
Son of a... And just starts screaming, "Where did she go?" And Ficus is going to look a little bit closer.
I only
She's
have
just
2
gonna,
hands,
like,
but I'm just gonna
go
cover
run
some
around.
kids' ears now. Ear
Go ahead
muffin.
and make an investigation check, and Irina will sit there, and you're probably, 30, 60 feet away from the stones, Bright?
60 or more.
60. Okay.
So it's
Uther
a
is.
9.
Oh, I'm sorry.
A 9. You look around, and the center stone is also covered in that oily substance. But other than that, nothing.
Which one's the center?
The center one is, we didn't talk about how that's actually depicted. So the center one is marred, and it's hard to see what it is. So to make out what it is, you'd have to attempt an investigation check.
Oh, so
The
there's
3 on the
4
outside.
altogether.
Yes, 1 in the center and
Okay.
3 around.
Got it.
And Granny disappeared behind the center one, right?
She walked behind the center one, yes.
Ficus is going to go smell the oily liquid, but not touch it. Because she knows not to disturb it.
It smells very, very sweet. Almost sugary or candy-like.
At this point, Leaf is.
blazing it.
At this point, Leaf has sort of like. He kind of looks. He's looking up the hill at Uther, but he's much more concerned about Ficus now. So he's sort of keeping an eye on her, and he's gonna call out. It's like, Ficus, Fig of the Forest, what are you doing? What are you looking for? Where did that creature go?
But that's what I'm looking for, I'm looking for Granny. She walked this way, and then Ficus is gonna like go around it a couple times and be like,
Yeah.
she's not here anymore.
Leaf is gonna start circling around to the side to let he's just looking.
Give me I think he's restarting. I'm texting him back and forth.
Yeah.
He's getting
Sorry,
robot
folks.
beeps and no video.
Oh no. The robot is roboting.
The robot is robotic. Go ahead and make an investigation check.
Do we want to take a 3 to 5 minute break and just try to get Rob back in?
I think we'll be alright to go. I think it'll be fine.
All right. So apologies for the video stuff. I'll try to clean it up a little here.
All right. I get to be Uther now. Hang on. Let me try. Where's
I'm
my
excited for
sword?
this. You need more bass in your voice.
I
Where's
got my son.
Got my boy.
I got my boy.
There
So
you
good.
go. Gotta get real low.
I got my
down.
boy.
Okay, hold on. I'm Solaire.
Okay,
People,
cool.
kill people. Don't have fun. Don't murder people.
Don't have fun, don't murder.
I got to stay myself, but my head is even bigger than it is in real life.
Yay. Who's being bright? Oh, Dane's being bright.
I think
I'm
right.
working on it. I'll do it as quick as
No,
I can.
don't rearrange. This is fun.
But while Uther is walking away, he would say,
I would like to rage.
no, actually, he would say almost the exact opposite, which is, thank you for this blessing. I have what I sought. You may end the blessing now.
Hey!
Oh, he's coming back.
feel but Gregory's rearranging cameras right now.
It's all good. Pop it back. Hey, it's connecting.
Oh,
Hey, look,
There
it's
we
back.
go.
There we go.
Rock and roll.
Wonderful. Back to where we were.
So, were you asking me to make a perception check? Is that what I was hearing?
Investigation.
Investigation. Okie dokie, I can do that. And I have no idea what I'm looking for, but I got a 17. Hey, how about that? Oh no, yeah, it's a 17.
You're
Yeah,
exhausted.
17.
I know,
Yep.
it's a 17. I
17,
rolled a
18.
17 and 18, so
Nice.
yeah.
Love that.
So as you look around, you see that there's definitely evidence that Granby Mork was there. You can see the footprints, you can see all of that, and the center stone of this the series of megaliths, it has a design that's been marred, it's been stained, it's been cut. Sorry, I laughed because Robotic just bounced out again.
Yeah. I'll try to fix that here.
No, that's okay. And looking at it, you start to see that this center stone also has imagery of wolves. It seems to be much like the wolf and spear and tooth one to the smaller scale, except someone has slashed at its patterns, someone has scratched its surface, and someone has covered it in this sticky, sugary, sweet-smelling substance.
Like molasses?
That's probably not I mean, you haven't touched it, but it's probably not a completely out-of-place description. Something between molasses and honey.
Okay. My understanding of the arcane is very limited, Ficus. I have no idea what this is. Perhaps we should return. I am
Gee, if
I am
only you
very
had a
disturbed
nerd in
by-
the party.
Perhaps we
Sorry,
should
I'm not
find
there.
Bright. She may understand this better than I. And I'm concerned about Uther.
Yeah, you may want to check in on him. I'm gonna stay here and kind of wait for Bright and just look at things. Make sure Granny doesn't show up again.
I'd rather not leave you here. Perhaps you could come collect Bright and the two of you can return together.
Well, Bright's just down there. She's like towards the bottom.
can
of
we
the
see
hill
her?
Now.
Yeah, you can
Oh,
see
I'm
her.
sorry. I didn't realize that. If Bright's that close,
that's
then
fine.
none of that would have happened. He said, I'll send her over.
I just wanted to be out of range of any weird things. We're gonna keep as
Right.
many kids safe as we can.
Okay, so now where are Solaire and Uther at this point then? That's what I need to know. But we're
So I was waiting to say Soul is arriving at the megaliths for when Robotics camera and voice came back.
He's been
Okay.
there the whole time.
So essentially he arrives as Uther with the child under his
Can you
arm.
hear me?
Yes.
okay, yes.
Yeah.
All right, Discord told me you couldn't. So.
Okay,
Discord's full of lies.
Discord's a liar.
We made it. So yeah, Soul, you walk up as Uther is walking toward out of the stones with Tobias under his arm. Now you're muted. You
And
worked fine.
Grammy Morga is gone.
And Grammy Morga is gone.
She walked behind a rock and disappeared.
So while he plays
What's-
with that leaf, you go and collect Bright and send her in for the arcane investigating.
Yeah, and what's Uther doing at this point? And and also, where's Irina and the kids? Did they come down the hill?
Irina's with Bright, so it's Irina, Bright.
So
and
they
the
all
kids
come down the
up
hill
by
together?
horses.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not leaving Arena alone with children again. So
I'd actually be making my way over to Bright and the rest of the kids.
can
Okay.
I have asked the children's names, by the way? You said there were 3 of them, and we know Arabelle. Did you name the other ones? If you
Sebastian.
Yep.
And was the other one a boy or a girl?
There was one girl on the
I think they're
thing, and there was
yeah.
one boy in a cage, and we didn't see the third, I don't think.
and Joey.
Perfect.
Seems like a very Barovian name.
So,
Yeah, I'd make my way over to Bright, and just kind of, we got him back.
Yes. Are you okay?
Fine. I just pray the rest don't do anything stupid.
What is that to do?
Meanwhile, in the background, you just see Ficus like getting really close to a stone and sniffing it.
that's awesome.
I love this so much.
My master has forged a way for us to return, for us to be together. And he just looks to Tobias.
I just kind of reach over and pet his little head too. But
Tobias
that is
giggles.
yes, he likes me. Sorry, that was out of character.
Leaf walks up at this point, is like, Uther, what's happening? Are we not going to put an end to whatever it is, foulness these crones are up to? Whatever they're about, it's not natural. These children, what's going on?
I had an objective. And he just bounces Tobias some more. I've accomplished my objective. My master made a way for us. As long as I struck a deal, and I did, I have my son. The deal is complete.
What was your side of the deal? Just not do anything?
Everything here is already claimed by death, and death will collect in due time. I swore to leave everything untouched and except my son.
How do you know that Death did not want us to send them to him right now?
Because he gave us back the kids.
Okay.
He knew that you all would slaughter your way through anyone and everyone to get those children back. So to appease you all in your base nature, he gave you the bait. Now we can leave. We have the children. I have Tobias. There is no need for further bloodshed.
This is very out of character for you. Are you okay?
You follow the Lord of Light or wherever, whatever.
I
myth.
think you've confused us with Solaire, but that's not the point.
You follow the one who follows the Lord of Light. And what has it gotten us? My master, in one day of me pleading, has accomplished more than Lathander ever has. I want to go home with my son.
Okay. You will also notice that we followed you as well. We don't just follow Soul. You are part of this as well. Right?
And that's
You know
it then.
right?
You have your son, and so the rest of the people of Barovia be damned.
Yes. 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 Where were the people of Barovia when I lost my son? Where were the kind people of Barovia when I searched frantically for Tobias, giving me half-truths and whispers and begging me to kill on their behalf?
I'm not a very smart being, but I can see clearly that the people of this land have been under the boot of that vile creature. And he's trying to roughly point towards the castle Ravenloft. And he's like, have been under the boot heel of that vile creature for generations. There is a taint across this land. Can you not feel it? It's in the air. It's in the land. It's in the trees. It's in the fiber of everything here. I believe that Solaire and Ficus and Bright and you and I were brought here to set things aright. Saving Tobias, the mote in the darkness, that maybe is just the beginning, but that cannot be all we are here to do. And I will not stand by while these foul old women... And Leaf kind of looks at the three children, and all of his features soften markedly. He says, Do unkind things to children.
Leaf, if we had it your way, you would just be waking up as those children would still be tortured. It was me and my will and my determination and my obsession that got those children free, and most of all, my master. So you don't get to preach to me about helping Barovia.
Leaf.
You're right. They have been under the boot heel of that master for generations, and that master wronged me once, and I did not sleep. I did not rest until what he did was undone. Perhaps that is a trait that needs to be inspired by more Barovians, but I am Tobias's father, not Barovia's.
Leaf, just a few minutes ago, we tried to counsel to wait and to make a plan and to be careful before we headed here. Maybe that is what we need to do. Maybe this windmill and these hags will be taken down in a little bit. Maybe we don't fix everything this instant, but that doesn't mean we're not going to. But like we tried to say, we need a plan. We need to prepare. We're no use with our attention divided with the children and with our friends in separate parts. We need to make a plan, and we need to do this together.
Your wisdom is profound, Bright, and clear and true. These children need to be taken somewhere safe. My only concern is that Strahd essentially gave us an ultimatum. He gave us 5 days.
So yes, we ran into him at the gates after you left, and actually I have an idea about that, but it should not be talked about here.
I apologize. I am clearly exhausted. We probably all are, as are the horses. Is there somewhere safe near here we can go to, or what should we do now? What do you all wish to do now, I should ask?
Irina will lead her horse over to the rest of you, and there's nowhere near to here that's safe. But Uther,
I would argue that there's nowhere safe in Barovia, but
Uther, you said you made a deal. The deals in Barovia always sound sweet. Let me tell you of my deal. Lord Strahd asked my hand in marriage. He said that I reminded him so much of one from before. That I was one from before, whatever that means. He said he would not force my hand. He would not charm me into obedience. But that he would make it so that I would make the choice. And if I did, he promised peace. But I have lived in Barovia my whole life. I know that the idea of the powers that be declaring peace is different than what's right. This land is broken. And if we take his idea of peace, that doesn't make it good for everyone else. Be careful is all I say. No matter who you think you serve, there are many powers in Barovia.
He will half in common and half in giant kind of respond, child, me and my tribe speak to the oldest, to the first, and to the last. We speak to the great chains that bond all living things. You made a deal with a man. I made a deal with an element, with the force of nature.
Your confidence in whom you speak is something to watch. And I didn't take the deal. That's what he wants to decide at dinner, is if that kind of peace is acceptable or not. Mother
What does a
Ava
creature of
gave me a
darkness
different
know of
way.
peace?
That's why I won't accept. He is a
You are-
predator. He is a destroyer. I think he's the instrument of something even greater. I don't want his peace, because his peace steps on the people. Mother Ava gave me a way out of that. And each of you, she said, have a part in it. She said that she would bring you into her tent and one at a time explain the pieces of a puzzle that, if put together, would end him. But to keep him down, the ladies three would have to return. I don't know who the ladies three are. I don't know what that means or what that's tied to. And Bright, neither do you.
Yeah, I figured. I'm like, well, there's 3 ladies here. Let's have a party. But that's not it, probably.
So she gave instructions.
We got another follow.
Knowledge.
Thanks, Dying City.
Woo.
A book.
This is a great day.
A book of the history of the land and the Lord. A book of knowledge. A holy symbol held by a person of faith. But not just any, the first. The symbol held by a brother before the brother was cast out of a castle and killed. That it would weaken Strahd. And a weapon. A weapon imbued with the power of the sun that's been hidden from these lands. She said that the innocent one would need to be empowered, and I think I'm part of that. And that if we found him in the place where it started and had those 3 items, we could end this curse. I sat with each of you. What peace did she give? To Bright, she talked about knowledge. Where was it? The 3-coin cup?
Yes, the Trados, the 3 of coin.
There's a inn in Vallaki that's known for its wine. I thought we might ask.
No.
Irina's hair is red, right?
Irina's hair looks black.
Oh, interesting.
I have some thoughts of this, and I have maybe perhaps some stories that you have not heard. But I think we should find camp first and not speak of this here. And I just kind of like nod back towards the windmill.
That's fine with me. Where to? She looks to you.
The road just a little bit, and we may camp. We put the children to bed. And keep watch. Please.
What is the nature of these stones?
Oh,
I'm not certain. Father never let me leave the village. People have talked about stones and standing stones throughout Barovia.
I'm getting ready to know things, if you'll let me.
Go ahead.
Okay. I don't know what type of check this is, but I rolled an 18 on the dice.
So the Vistani know of 3 places that
What
have
type of check?
history.
Ha! 23.
Nice.
They know
That's
of
all.
3 places where there are stones like these. There's the ones close to the windmill that you all now realize looks suspiciously like the one on Soul's shield. There is one close to the ruins of a place once known as Berez. And there is one at the top of a place called Yester Hill. And although you know where they're at, Bright, you and your caravan have never been to Yester Hill, and you've never been to Berez. But you've passed by these stones a number of times. Always in the distance, never nearby.
Okay.
What
And then
about the
scattered-
ones that we first encountered?
And then scattered throughout the land are these much smaller roadside shrines.
Oh, okay.
So 3 major ones, and then more or less innumerable smaller ones. If this
Do
were
I
an
know
open
anything
world
about,
game,
like,
you would get
their
a light
purpose?
experience points every time you found them.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, are they used for, like, altars? Are they used for, like, directions?
The Vistani use them for nothing. They're just parts of the land. It's a very old land.
What do the Barovians think they're for? Do Barovians ever encounter them?
The Barovians try not to leave unless they absolutely have to leave their homes.
Okay.
Okay.
So we probably will just look for anywhere that's relatively
Yeah,
sheltered
we
from
can just-
rain and
Walk off the property and make camp, and that's fine. I just don't want to be right next to the windmill.
Yep, that's fine. You guys head down the road as far as you'd like. And find a place to settle in.
Circle up the horses.
You mean
I
these dying,
give all my
exhausted
blankets
horses?
to kids.
Yes, the dying, exhausted horse. Soul, you're back!
Yay!
Kinda. I have
Yeah,
no
what
idea.
was Soul doing by the stones this whole time?
Contemplating, apparently. I have no idea what's going on now.
Essentially, a set of standing stones over by the windmill was where Uther retrieved Tobias. He insists that a deal was made, that nothing should be touched, and that you leave without a fight. You collected a trio of other children, bringing your current babysitting load to 4. And that's
Babysit low to 3. I'm raising the 4th
Yeah,
one.
you do.
and then everyone found a place to camp.
And
Alright,
I have some background knowledge I can drop if we are still talking.
we're at the
um,
campfire now.
Yep, make it to camp. Set up
Campfire.
a campfire.
I would like to ask Ficus for one of the black leather-bound journals that is in the loot boot because it was empty, and I would love to just start compiling everything in it of like, this was written down in my prophecy, this was written down of whatever, and anybody that will tell me anything about it, it's gonna go in this book. So, yeah. I hope you all wrote down your stuff.
Books. I will get rid of one.
I mean, it's gonna go back in the loot boot. I'm not carrying this.
Oh. Never mind.
You're not gonna carry your own book.
But I'm writing in it. Okay, cool. I'm writing in it now, but it's gonna go back in the boot.
Did you use any of the components from either the wolf splint mail, the ring mail, or the half plate to make
Merlin?
baby soul?
I used probably one of them, but you can have the other two.
I mean, I don't really have a need for them. It's just taking up weight.
Yeah.
Inside my.
I thought Solaire is now in the splint mail.
We'll I have that updated in the summaries, so we'll take a look then.
Sweet.
So you guys are at camp. It's cool. The sun finishes setting in Barovia. The dark land darkens further. It was already evening. Uther has found something to feed Tobias, or else Tobias is just crying incessantly.
No, I got something for him. I would have got something from the Vistani camp in anticipation of having my boy back, because I knew I was going to get my boy.
You don't go natural?
I ain't got titties.
The equipment don't work that way.
I got pics.
At some point, once Leaf has sort of collected his thoughts, he's gonna say to the group, "Thank you, Bright, for helping me clear my mind and come to my senses. You know, I'm not sure what Mother Ava said to all of you, but the thing that she said to me, which struck me as the most important, perhaps, is this. She said, 'Fighting alone is the domain of lost fools.' Then she said, 'Take help from the hand of the one he would rule.'" And Leaf looks at Irina, thinking that maybe that's who that was referring to. He says, "Whatever we decide to do, I believe it is our fate to do it together. We definitely need to ensure that these children are safe, first and foremost. Once that's done, I can't abide those women, if that's what they are, in that windmill. They were," and he's saying, hopefully none of the children are going to overhear any of this.
I have tried to make sure they're asleep
them
before
asleep
grown-ups get to have their talk.
It's like, what were they doing in that windmill, Ficus, Uther? They looked clearly distraught.
We are not allowed by the windmill just for that reason, because we don't know what goes on in there.
They were obviously taken from their parents, which in and of itself is enough.
Ficus will kind of look over to Uther and just kind of look down at the ground, like knowing like what they did was fucked up and she's ashamed of it. And she'll just kind of like recount what she saw. But she won't tell them about like attempting to cast Mage Hand and like her trying to undo it. She's just going to be like the kid getting pricked, the two kids in cages, like the terrible smell, the gem, that was at like the center of the windmill and stuff like that, and just recount like everything that she saw within the windmill, but not really like looking at anyone, more or less looking at her feet.
Uther is just, playing with Tobias, like barely paying attention to the conversation. And when Leaf asked the question, Uther just, whatever it is that they were doing to the children, they are no longer doing it. That is what matters.
What is to prevent them from doing this to children in the future?
I have Tobias. It is no longer my concern.
Keep saying that.
And I keep meaning it.
So, what is your
Do I
concern,
guess-
Uther?
Right after he says, I keep meaning it, Ficus will pipe up and be like, they also mentioned serve the same as Uther does. And that they are both, and are the two of them were intertwined with him. And they received a message from the same to release the children to us, which is how we got the kids in the first place.
A correction, if I may. I believe they said that I have friends in high places, and that my master called in that they should release the children. They never said that we worship the same.
I thought they did. DM. Or like that
DM.
they reached out
Hey,
to.
help.
The stepsisters implied it. Grammy Morga basically said that.
Okay, he's going strictly on the they never said it. Like,
And Irina is cautioning who you think you listen to.
he knows. He's just playing the game. But yes.
Yep.
Yes, right.
When we were fighting, and I didn't have Tobias, why did your ancestor still stand in front of me? I think maybe you do care about us. And I think if you do, what matters to us should matter to you. I know that you care for Tobias above all, and that is okay, but you are allowed space in your heart for more than one.
I did care about all of you for a time. All of you, made it extremely difficult to maintain that when something so important to me failed to spark the same fire within you that is sparked within me.
You also keep saying that, Uther, and you don't know anything about us. You
I
know,
know that
you rush into things
be
headlong.
resting.
Hear me out. You rush into things headlong. That's your way. That doesn't mean that we don't care as much for little Tobias. That doesn't mean that we wouldn't risk our lives or do whatever it takes. You know, the conversation came up when we were in that foul house. Let me tell you a little more of my story. I do not know who my parents were. I was orphaned as a child. I was taken in by rangers. They trained me. They taught me the ways of the land, the sky, and the creatures. They instilled in me a sense of responsibility. We, and I'm indicating everyone, we have taken on a similar responsibility. We are now the keepers of these children. That is our first priority. But that cannot be our only priority. There is something here not right. This woman is being coerced by the most foul creature I have ever encountered. And I cannot let that pass. We have to find a way to help her, to help these children. Uther, we don't even know if we can return home before we set things right. Where do you intend to take Tobias? You say home. Where is home? How will we return? Once the mist surrounded us, we were stuck here as far as Bright has implied. I do not have faith that we can return to our homes until things are set right. So yes, now we must protect these children. But what then?
You say you don't know that we can make it home. When Tobias was lost, you were not certain that we can find him in all of Barovia. I have no room for doubt. I have only the space for anger and determination. That is it. If my son is taken, I will find him. Once I have my son, I will take him home. You ask me how. I do not know the way, but I know what I am willing to do to find the way. I know that I am willing to create a river, an ocean of blood, if need be, to find a way to accomplish my goal. That is the difference between my care, my love, and yours, Leaf.
So you have fallen to darkness yourself, as that one has. Again, pointing up to the castle.
What? You speak of light and darkness. There is no such thing. There is life, and there is death.
They are one and the same. Can you not see that? Bright. How do the Vistani leave this land? They are able to travel outside of the realm of Barovia. Why are they not stuck here? Do they know some secret?
No. A long time ago, when the Lord of the Land first came here and first conquered, my ancestors were kind to him and helped him heal. And as a thanks, he allowed them the ability to move around freely. And that protection has been extended all this time because of that debt. Because long ago, someone did something. We are now paying for it. We are now getting that possibly taken away. So when you left, Strahd was there at the gate, and he asked Irina if she would be his Tatiana. That was the name of Strahd's first love here. So it was a whole story. She died, and he is convinced he can find her again. There's not a lot that can leave here, even when they die. The souls, they stay. There aren't even enough of them. You saw the cook at the first inn that we stayed at, yes? He was emotionless. He did not do anything of his own unless he was told. He is a husk. He has no soul.
Songless, I'm aware.
Those with souls, they are stuck unless they are Vistani like I was. Oh,
Are you saying that death has no meaning here?
it is a cycle. There is no escape. To come here is to be lost.
And you would have us help the people that brought us here.
Brought us here to help, Uther.
Are
I
you
am
aware that
exhausted.
what's-
I'm probably
you-
not making any sense. I can barely think straight. Perhaps we all need rest and should continue this conversation in the morning. Irina has gave us some clues, but they are very clouded
Yes,
and unclear.
I'm trying to record everything. That is what Grandmother Ava told me, was that in order to learn everything now, we need to learn what happened before. We can't just rush into things. We have to have a plan. We have to...
Have to stay together.
Yes. We have to think about who was in our position before and learn the history of what happened so that we don't repeat the same mistakes. If Strahd wants another Tatiana, I think we have to learn about the first one.
There is an echoing, screaming howl that begins flying toward the camp.
Alright.
And out of the trees beside you comes the gaunt image of Margaret, who freezes. Of Margaret, who
Tobias's mom.
freezes directly in front of Uther, hovering in the air. She doesn't have the sweet form she once had. She has the hollow eyes, the drawn features, the tattered clothes. She looks down at Tobias, and her hands kind of hover over him. She reaches her hand toward Uther, and Uther, you grow cold. Much like when you met in the death house, when she reached out to you to pass into you.
Yeah, he is just accepting it, and he goes, I know, but I kept my word.
When her hand touches, your flesh gets cold and colder, and she recoils her hand and just looks in silent confusion at her hand and at you. And almost panicky, looks at Tobias and reaches towards you again.
He's gonna protect Tobias, but he's not gonna defend himself from her at all. I promised you that I would bring him back, that I would find him. Whatever punishment you see fit for my failure, I will accept. But so long as I live, the boy will be safe.
Give me an insight check.
Let's do it. Yeah, she's not herself. That's not gonna be awesome if he has to fight the mom. Let's see. Oof, an 11. Why am I using roll 20? Anyway, I'll take that 11.
She doesn't seem angry. You can't figure out what she feels.
At this point, I would like to rage, just so maybe my ancestors can help me understand.
I'm kind of mirroring the whole ancestor stood in front of me by trying to stand in front of him. Now, please.
Since you're right there, Bright, I'll give you an insight check also.
Oh, great, cool.
Pushing yourself in between.
I still don't know where my character sheet is. It's fine.
What are Solaire and Ficus doing?
17.
She reaches out toward Uther's chest again, and Uther, you can't feel the pressure of her hand. I mean, it doesn't have any weight to it, but you feel that coldness deepen in your chest, and the harder she seems to push, the colder your chest becomes. And she recoils back and hovers up higher and just seems frustrated, confused. It's hard to place exactly what she feels, and she howls again and takes back off into the forest.
I don't know what it is that you wanted. I'm sorry.
What was that?
That was Tobias's mother.
Yes, but why did she return now?
Because I have her son. Because he's been found. And he's safe.
It becomes time to start laying down for the evening.
Mm-hmm.
Anything, you deafened yourself instead of muted yourself, so don't. In case you're gonna rip a big one or something. So if there's anything else you guys want to say before night, that's fine. Otherwise, there's one requested scene that got DM'd to me that we're gonna do when people lay down for bed.
Okay.
Yeah, Leaf would basically get ready for bed, expecting to take middle watch with Solaire again.
I'll take a watch.
I'll
Probably
take
the
a
morning
watch.
one. Dibs on morning. You get to stay up later.
Okay.
Ficus can help with the watch too this time.
Oh yeah, you're healthy. Yay.
Well,
Physically okay.
physically exhausted, but
That's
she'll
true.
stay up
Oh,
for
no.
the first one,
Okay.
so that way she can sleep uninterrupted.
So who's on first
That's
watch
nice.
then?
Who's on
Ficus.
first?
Ficus? Okay.
See, I made a Who's on First reference.
Yes,
Aren't you
that
proud
was
of
awesome.
me?
Perfect. So Ficus, you stay up. Everyone else kind of frustrated, confused, irritated. Dang it, soul!
Struggling.
You guys lay down to sleep fitfully, as is the way in Barovia. And Ficus and Soul, as you look over everyone is fidgeting, they're kicking, murmuring to themselves, they're uncomfortable, they're sleeping poorly, except one of the children. Sebastian.
Annabelle.
Well, actually, that would be Arabelle, makes more sense.
Yeah.
Arabelle is sleeping still.
Soul beckons the child over to him.
You wake her up.
Whichever one you said was awake.
Oh, she's not awake. She's
Oh.
just not. She's sleeping soundly.
Oh, okay.
She's the only one not having issues.
She is the only one not having issues sleeping.
And who's up?
You and Ficus.
I turn to Ficus and I go, they did something terrible to those children.
Ficus just nods once.
Do you know what they did?
When I was in there, the only thing that I saw was, I think was it Arabelle that was getting pricked?
Yep.
I saw the one who's actually sleeping quite soundly, just getting pricked each time the windmill went around and turned that single time. The other two were in cages, and I couldn't understand what was going on. This is not something I know about. I've only recently even been able to start to do magic, so
Man.
this is a little out of my wheelhouse. But that gem, oh, that gem looked nice. But yeah, I actually tried to free Arabelle and was stopped, which is why when those old crones hinted at, and Granny also exaggeratedly hinted at them serving the same that Uther is served. I mean, like, I know Uther's yelled that death is inevitable, but I really hope that people know that just because there's death doesn't mean life's any less worth living. And I'm sad that so many people have given up here. And I understand why Uther's mad. But that doesn't make it okay to just leave innocence behind because of our objective. That doesn't make us any better than Strahd now. We just let evil keep happening. And Ficus is just like a couple of tears will fall down her face. Like, she was super torn following Uther and covering Uther's ass, and now she feels like as the conversation happened. Oh no, everyone went away. Can you
You're
guys
good.
still hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
As the conversation was happening, like, if anyone had even looked Ficus's way while Uther was just laying into everyone how they didn't care and stuff, you could see that she was just getting more and more progressively torn up because she did everything she could along the way, and she still feels that bit of responsibility, but at the same time she's feeling more and more betrayed by Uther because of everything that's been going on. And I think as Soul's just staring at her, she's just rich with emotions. She doesn't know what she's feeling anymore. And this is the first time she's actually opened up to Solaire, aside from just staring at him awkwardly, because he's a monster with consciousness in her brain. She's like, what the fuck is this? This is not something in the forest. So she's just
They
kind
don't
of...
have robots there.
No robots. And so I think this is just... She almost feels like she's talking to a priest or someone that she should confess her wrongdoings to without ever having done this before. So it's kind of just a stream of consciousness coming from her right now.
Well, one, take inspiration.
I already have 2.
Start using them.
Good rolls tonight.
No, they were poor. I just let them stay poor.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fun too.
Yeah.
Soul's gonna look at you for a moment, and then he'll say, "You both, what you've done, what you almost did. If those children had died by your hand, would have been unforgivable. But it's funny because my fortune had a line that said, of force exchanges. And it told me to find a place where blood is taken for vanity, love for spite, and lives that are drowned in rage. It said search for a monument to her death. This may not be the monument, but there was something taken from these children at that place. And I am not going to let that place stand. So Uther very quietly picks up a piece of wood burning from the fire.
You mean Solaire?
Sorry.
Sol-
Yes, sorry. Solaire.
I'm not the only one.
He says it. He says Uther so much in the
I'm
game.
sorry. I'm sorry. It's rubbing off,
Our
Rob.
names
I
have just
apologize.
been
It is.
Uther.
It is. Uther, sorry. Soul picks up a torch from the fire, and he just, without another word, calmly walks back down the hill towards the windmill.
Ficus, are you going to follow him?
Ficus is going to go nudge Leaf awake real quick and be like, it's your watch. And then she's going to just be like, and she's going to scurry after as quietly as she can after Solaire. Stay here. Stay here.
Can-
Stay here.
Does Leaf sort of see what's happening? I mean, it's going to take him a second to wake up, but he's probably trained himself to be awake quickly.
You're still exhausted.
Yeah.
I think Leaf was next in the watch, so that's who she went to, just based on who was supposed to be next.
No, that's right. Oh, no, Uther was next, technically, but I'm okay with this.
So you're
Ficus would not have woken up Uther.
Right.
This is probably better.
Yeah, it's fine.
I tell you one thing, and you go and do the opposite.
So Ficus.
None of us are waking you up, honey.
Ficus wakes up Leaf, and Leaf, you're a little confused. You're not sure why, but she says it's your watch and to stay here.
Where are you going?
Ficus will just as she's scurrying. She doesn't want to wake anyone else up. She's going to use message and send you a message that her and Solaire are not going to let the darkness stand. Oh gosh, everyone got really spotty.
You're fine. It came through. It came through.
Can we respond to message? I don't recall.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So
up to 25 words. I mean, I think it might have been longer than that.
But he would get the gist.
And she would have said that they're going to, not necessarily set shit on fire, but they're going to go take care of the windmill.
Burning the windmill down.
Burning the windmill down. Be back
BRB.
soon.
Don't tell
stay
Uther.
up. Stay quiet. Don't wake Dad.
I don't like this. I also appreciate what you're doing. Be careful. Call if you need help.
And where we'll end for the evening is Solaire and Ficus approaching the windmill with a burning torch in hand.
Ooh.
Nice.
As it fades.
There's no way that this can't end poorly.
It's gonna go so badly.
So,
I'm so afraid.
first off,
Ficus's story was literally set things on fire. That's what she took out of her reading.
I mean, Leaf is all for it.
Know.
He was championing the cause earlier, so.
You're really, I didn't know you were reading at all. I just came up with that.
No, when you said those words, Ficus was like, he knows what he's doing. He understands the calling, so I'll follow him.
I mean,
I will say, chat, thank you for hanging out.
Yeah.
We are going to stick around and talk because there's a big thing that I need to address for myself. And we'll chit-chat a little bit about how the session went. This, I'm going to say first and foremost, did not go how I planned, period, at all, full stop. Which was both a blast for me, but also it caused me to stumble, and I'll go into the details of that when we do our debrief. So, chat, stick around. We are going to talk until about 11:30 or so about how the session went, what went on, good things, bad things, etc. And if you need to take off, feel free, be good. If you have any questions, stick them in chat. We'll keep an eye on chat and answer any of those as we go about. The first thing I want to do is I want to apologize to everyone real quick. So, in all honesty, I thought that this was going to be a fight very, very quickly. One way or another, I really thought that even if Uther got there first, that it would still end up being a fight of some kind. My entire night tonight was a fight with 3 hags. Big fight, boss fight, all of my session planning went into that, and that kind of went sideways in a way that even I didn't expect. The problem that led to is it led to the problem of the kids in the windmill. The kids in the windmill were always going to come out of the windmill. Whether that was how it happened, or whether it was in the wake of the fight, it was going to happen. The pricking with the needle is in Curse of Strahd Raw. It's how the hags make sure the kids have a soul. My intention was that she was going to give them scary faces to make them cry, rather than actually hurt the kids physically. that was a mistake on my part. And I want to apologize to you guys for that, because it's one of the things we talked about early on, was all of us with kids and the plans with kids and the plot armor with kids. And that is one of the rough parts of Curse of Strahd is, I mean, the windmill is 1,000 times worse than what happened. And I, as that developed, went, oh, this is much darker than I intended it to be. So I do want to apologize for that.
I think it's meant to be, though. I think it almost needs to be. Like this is our...
We need to have the conversation, because I feel that I went too far in that. And I think I'm justified feeling that. And I don't want to minimize that apology with an excuse or anything else.
Sure.
I went farther than I should have. So sorry about that. But that, so that's the thing that I want to start with our debrief on. And if you're still in chat, it's one of the things that's important about these, because we have to talk about these things. We talk about safety tools. We talk about these things in advance. We talk about where the lines were, where hard lines were, where soft lines were. And because of how this went out, it was way too close to some hard lines we talked about. And that's completely on me. So I do want to say that. I also want to say that, I mean, you guys are amazing in ways that are just killing me. Because with nothing planned besides a fight, and there's not a fight, it really got interesting in a good way. So that's what I wanted to start with, and I wanted to say that right. So, yeah, and I don't say that, I don't want to kind of, no justifying it, nothing like that, but that's where that's at. So.
I was gonna say, Ro, regardless of whatever happening, I was just looking for an excuse to get back to the hack, which was funny. But we got derailed by, well, I wouldn't say derailed. We leaned more towards trying to keep the party together, which I'm sad I missed like half of, because
Me too.
The word for this, right before we went out the first time, I went out the first time, I was ready to get into another argument with Uther. I had like a whole thing, and I completely lost my momentum. I was so ready.
Ready to get into an issue.
Well, I'm so sad I missed that.
There were a lot of thoughts I had about whether to replace the big fight with a different fight, or to force a fight, but then it made everything else seem like... plus, Soul's gonna go burn down the windmill anyway, so...
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll be open to chat. It was me who called the X card. I saw the pricking thing, and I was like, hey, I said we don't hurt kids in this stream. And so I was like, Dan, I'm going to call you on it. I don't want this. My character was not there. And so it was very hard for me as a person to find a way to get this to stop. And I was like, I'm going to do it because I trust the group and I trust Dane to respect me as a person who has issues with seeing kids hurt. And so I called it, and then he immediately fixed things. But also watching Noir have to go with it, because he was like, we touch nothing, you can't touch those kids. I'm like, how are we going to get kids out when Uther's determined to not change the status quo? So I was a little bit like, oh no, what's going to happen? But also very much trusting there would be some sort of fix it.
It also, I mean, and like I said, you didn't have to say that, but I appreciate that you did.
Part of having this is having people that are comfortable talking about things that go wrong, and let's show people, hey, you're allowed to say I have a problem, and you're allowed to be open with it, and people are still gonna think you're cool, right? I'm still cool.
You are still cool. You're the coolest. The one of the things that's very good about even talking about this is the change that it had me make, because it changed the direction of the story of this windmill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
it happened so fast. Thank you very much. I said, I have a problem with this, and you're like, okay. It was right away. The response was immediate. Thank you for that.
and I think it could be really hard. I can say this for me in 20. It's really hard for us not to meta game right
Yeah.
back into the windmill because we
back
knew,
into it.
but our team guys that know, I'm waiting like, I guess
That
say something.
yeah, that was for me too. It's like Gregory is like, man, I just want to go ace these hags so bad, but Leaf has no idea what's happening inside. It's like, so I'm super grateful for you two explaining that a little bit, because I felt that we were sort of on that edge of the lines we had talked about, and it was making me nervous and a little uncomfortable, but I didn't feel like it had crossed the line. So I appreciate, Nif, that you said that, and I'm grateful, Dane, that you took that change of direction. That's powerful. For me, the biggest thing is I just want to say thank you to Noir, because man, I hope it's clear that I absolutely love the pushback that our two characters are having. It's real. I feel
I'm
like
enjoying it. I almost feel like a little too much, and I feel like every time we have one of these, I need to apologize to y'all.
but it's good stuff. Like I love how committed to your choices you are for this character.
Like, I love every single one of you, and all of our characters just seem to hate each other, which makes me so sad, but it's just like, this is, like, we're good at this. Good job.
I don't know that, I don't think there's, I don't see it that way, certainly, and Leaf definitely doesn't have that feeling for Uther at all. It's more like, he
We're
just
so
totally
antagonistic
disagrees with Uther's sort of, like, MO. I was like,
Yeah.
you can't just rush headlong into everything. Like, I'm willing to
He's
fight
like, it worked
till
this
the...
time.
Yeah. But that was brilliant. Seriously,
It
Niffer, that
was.
was brilliant how you sort of like brought that perspective back into focus for Leaf. That was to me, that was a really powerful moment of like, yeah, I need to listen to my own wisdom kind of sense of
Took
like,
me
hey,
like 15 minutes to come up
think
with that.
about what
I
you're
don't
doing.
generate words fast.
Oh, that was awesome.
I
was
had
all
another
fantastic.
I had another response prepared too for Uther, but I could not think of the right words for it, and it was gonna be good.
Like, honestly, like I really did enjoy. I feel I'm really enjoying being the antithesis to Soul, because
what?
the exact opposite of Soul. Like, it's kind of like a light dark kind of thing they got going on right now in the party. And so where Soul is like, he sheds light on every problem that we have. Like, Uther is slowly starting to delve into the darker end of it, and I've been planning to have Uther go into cleric, and this episode felt like the perfect push, so I kind of leaned into it.
Yeah. I'm gonna say that's what kind of led me to the whole decide to go burn down the windmill, because I'm like, it's ridiculous how I have to forgive the man who not only desecrated my temple but killed one of my
In the
priests.
temple.
And you want me to look the other way when we clearly just rescued tortured kids and not do anything about it. So I'm like, nah, not today.
So Uther's response is like, and this is like, I'm trying to play him with complete tunnel vision. So, and his defense is, yeah, who saved the kids?
Yeah, I hate that you were validated so much tonight. Like, we spent
But that's
all-
the thing. That's what's so much fucking fun
being
with
like,
it.
calm down, and you're like, nope, running works. I just did a 3-minute mile. I hate that this worked out for you. You are not learning any lessons this way.
Oh, he's learning cleric level 1 as soon as he can.
So to get this out of the way, so I don't forget, yes, you all milestoned, so it's a level for next session.
Sweet.
Oh, good, because if I fight hags, I'm gonna need it.
Yeah,
Yeah, really.
All right.
There's an important thing about leveling up. You don't get your new stuff until after a long rest. You get your hit
Yeah.
points, and that sort of thing. But your new abilities are not. Dying City, I'll point out, it's not burnt down yet. Oh, Niffer just said that.
Helping.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do want to point out, Dying City, I appreciate kind of the exchange, and I hope you do too. This is something this part of this game is as important to us as the game itself, because we want to have fun and we want to keep having fun. And one of the ways to do that is to talk about this afterwards. And if we don't talk about it afterwards, then it leaves stuff hanging, it leaves uncertainty. The animosity between characters can become animosity between players.
Yeah.
Unless we take the time to discuss it. And I think there's also an important thing to point out with you is, you had said when you killed the priest, redemption arc, you kind of sang that redemption arc.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's gonna be one. I really don't.
This is where, that's something that you and I should talk about.
Okay.
And I do want to talk about at some point.
Okay.
Because having Margaret come back and not be able to re-enter you to help protect Tobias is something I want to talk to you about.
See, that's what I thought.
So there is a big question of what deals you're making and who you're making deals with. They're
That's what
working.
I thought.
They're working.
I was just thinking about asking you if a change in Barbarian subclass could be something that we could discuss. So losing that might work. Just saying.
It could,
If you don't want to, that's fine. That's fine. I'm just letting you know.
We could talk about this. I think it can work as is in a more kind of cohesive story way, but that's especially because you established with the subclass that she was kind of part of the ancestral.
Yep.
And now she's not. So, but anyway,
I have a ghost
that
that's
is-
gonna haunt you.
I want to be
Yay.
explicit about that because sometimes, my ability to communicate breaks down. So I want to make sure that that's
Okay.
clear.
No,
I left that to an insight roll, which I don't think I should have, because otherwise, we're not. And this is where there's a constraint of time. We're not planning on playing this game for the next 10 years.
We're not.
So the kind of stuff in a multi-year campaign that you could let drag out, if we had plans of going 60 sessions, I wouldn't tell you right now that Margaret couldn't get into you for some reason you don't understand.
I kind of like
but
the fact
I could
that
tell you that.
I kind of like the
It's
fact
fine.
that he doesn't get it though. It kind of shows how blind he's becoming to things to get what he wants. And also, I'm truly enjoying this level 1 Death Domain clearing.
Yep. So, we are hopefully going to do this in less than 30 sessions. I think we can do it in 26, but I don't know.
Well,
Uther's the real BEG.
Honestly, I'd believe it. I have a question for Noir.
Yes.
What went through your head when I asked you why the spirit still stood in front of Bright?
Oh, that's
you
obvious.
You just blue screened. And so I was like, I'm just going to keep talking now because you just did not have an answer. And I was like,
No, Uther does not want to. Uther is upset with the party. He is furious at all of you. It's just on the verge of considering everybody he's traveling with enemies. It's kind of an irrational thing. But every time he was just like, "We need to go get Tobias," and somebody would go, "Well, we should do this instead." It's just like, the fuck do you mean we should do something instead? So all that kind of stacked, and now that the urgency and the fire of "I need to get Tobias, I need to get Tobias, I need to get Tobias" is gone, he's trying to resolve how he feels about all of y'all. Because everybody keeps coming up to him like, "Well, we need to save Barovia. We need to save Barovia." To him, it's just like, I think the perfect way to say it is this: he doesn't think that you will take his love for Tobias seriously. He doesn't think that you will see Tobias as his son or Uther as Tobias's father. and he doesn't understand that, and it's infuriating him.
Do you have
So why
an
did the spirit still stand in front of Bright?
Oh, because he cares about her. He really like he does care about it. Like it's because Bright, more than anybody else, like was Tobias's other parent. So it's just like if he left the party today and could only take one person with him, it would be Bright, because she can help take care of Tobias. But personally, he's like,
Yeah.
like he's waiting for the day it comes down to him and Soul. Like in his head, that is a fight that's just gonna need to play out, because he's also furious with Lathander, like in a way that I can't describe. He hates the light right now.
Yeah.
Says the guy who desecrated the temple.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
everything started going his way when he did that.
I
Oh,
know.
man.
I'm so upset, but I'm also very excited to see what it leads to.
For the cost of one broken priest and on a barely functional, a barely standing temple, he not only got his son back, but was able to get in touch with the spirit that his kid has worshipped since the beginning of their tribe, and he found a bunch of other lost kids. Fuck the light, fuck the Lathander, and how much? Somebody give me more priests to kill, because clearly only good things come when you murder priests.
And this is something that I'll point out as a DM, when there are wrenches kind of thrown in the planned story in any way, shape, or form, it is always easier to plan for people that play their characters true.
Mm-hmm.
And all of you are doing an excellent job of playing your characters true. And I can see the confusion, especially in Leaf and Ficus, of what to do about Uther, because neither of them are happy. And you know, Bright and Soul also, but in different ways. But there's that active confusion. And for me as the DM, it is so wonderful to be able to manipulate a character down the perfect path when they play true to character.
So mad at that.
Dude, I do need to send a shout out to Corndogg. That moment where where you were doing the mage hand, I would say the hardest thing that Uther did today was push Fig. Yeah, that I was asking myself, like, if Fig is determined to save this kid, how far is Uther willing to go? And that was scary. So thank you for that.
Yeah. I know, like, we're talking a lot about like Uther versus Soul, but I think Uther's gonna get a strong comeuppance once Ficus figures out her footing with him, because like this is the biggest party member that's literally shoving her around after all she did was like try to help him get her son back, and like he's yelling about how like no one's helping him, and she's just sitting there like
that's what
I haven't done anything to stop you. Like I followed you here. I've been chasing you. Like
that's the stick. That's the thorn in. That's totally the thorn and leaf side too.
Yeah. Well, and
like we're here to help you.
Like,
why are you fighting against us? What's the deal?
Yeah, like Ficus just stared Strahd down on top of a horse, like trying to protect the rest of the party from Strahd, like trying to be that big person, and he wasn't even there for it, and she's just sitting there like, fuck you, dude. And I think, like, especially after being pushed around, like, when Soul was like, I'm gonna go fucking burn down this windmill, she's like, I'm gonna burn down this windmill, I'm gonna burn down those rocks, I'm gonna figure out how to fucking do it, and she's so mad right now, and, like, no one, like, she's just kind of sitting there simmering with it, which is why she probably stayed up for the first watch, is because, like, how do you go to sleep when you're that mad? And you don't know how to communicate with the people around you, because, like,
yes,
she wants to care about these people when people are constantly telling a group like, oh, I care, I don't, or you don't care, and stuff like that. She's watching everyone fight, and she's just sitting here like, fuck all of this. Like, this is completely ridiculous. I've almost died twice from caring. Like, she's so mad.
And part of
I don't
Leaf's...
think, like...
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, Greg.
After you.
I don't know. I think it's just... I think, like, the more she's, like, kind of being beat up on by, like, not necessarily standing up for herself, I think there is going to come a time where, like, her backstory actually comes into play, and people get to learn a little bit more about Ficus and how much of, like, a fighter she actually is.
Yeah.
And, like, what she's willing to do for the people she cares about, because no one really knows who she is. Like, of everyone, she's shared the least.
Yeah.
And so it's just kind of like, she's at her boiling point. And when she, like, confessed everything to Soul, like, it kind of, like, quelled the boiling a little bit. But, like, if they come back to any flack from any of the group, like, I don't know how she's gonna play that out. I think she might just lose her cool. I think she's just kind of over it. I think she's kind of overplaying the nice little one who doesn't appear to know a whole lot. I think she's over the snot of the small one.
I honestly just can't wait for when Ficus just, like, smacks Uther in the face one day. Like, I think she could take him.
I mean, that's another part of their, like, I guess, like, relationship that I love playing up, is that, good or bad, Uther never really sees Fig coming.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's always like a last second reaction, but Fig always gets the upper hand when it comes to, like, finding him, sneaking up on him, and all that kind of stuff. So I'm very excited for the day where it goes boom.
From the moment that Ficus put a handful of spiders in Uther's hand without him knowing she was there. I mean,
So
from
good.
that very first session,
Wow,
of Noir,
throwback.
it has been Ficus sneaking up and. Is there anything else that anyone wants to bring up before we wrap up?
I want to know what that requested scene was.
Oh, that was me to burn down the.
Yeah,
window.
that was.
Oh, hell yeah.
I didn't want to say anything out loud because it was like, I'm staying awake all night.
I'm very glad. I have to say, I'm very glad that it's Solaire and Ficus, because the exact same thing is in Leaf's mind. Like, he's like, I should just go burn that damn place down. And so the fact that you two are doing it is like, it's really going to sit well. Once he knows exactly what's happening, like, he's still sort of waking up, but I think once he knows exactly what you're about, that he's very much going to be appeased by that. But I'm also, Gregory is a little concerned that that's going to just send the witches out and after us, and then we're separated, and that's like, oh no.
I'm
also,
really sure the witches aren't there.
We
also,
don't know.
When you get back from burning this, Bright's gonna be like, how dare you, and Uther's just going to kill you.
Maybe.
Uther got about the
Uther
same
has-
strength score.
Uther has what he wanted.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the bargain, and to clarify the bargain, I had actually,
So we're allowed to shoot it now?
I had considered, what I had considered was having everybody turn off their speakers or take their headsets off before I told Uther what the bargain was. I seriously thought about that. I decided not to, because you guys do a fantastic job of not metagaming. So I decided there's no need to do that. The only reason that crossed my mind is because I saw something recently and is like, yeah, they're super metagaming right now, and it's really ruining this scene. But I trusted you guys. I knew you wouldn't. Went, you know what? I'm not going to do
If that was
something
me,
like
I
that.
apologize. I try not to do that.
Wait,
No, not a you.
No, we
Somebody I was
didn't.
watching. I was
Oh,
watching
okay.
a different.
Okay.
I'm not gonna. We're live right now. I'm gonna say
get
what
you.
I was watching.
Put them
But I
on
was-
blast.
No, I was
Well,
just watching. A
yeah,
stream,
that's
and
what
it
I
was-
mean
It
is
was
like-
it was a thing where they they immediately started metagaming into it, and because before I do the scenes with you guys, I watch a lot of other groups that have done the same thing to kind of think about, okay, well, how will it play out with you guys as opposed to how it played out with them, and everybody tries to bypass the windmill so that it doesn't kill everyone. Everyone
We
does.
launched a Barbarian at it from 6 miles away. We did exactly the opposite.
Well,
I've
but
been
that
wanting to deal with the windmill. That's like I was like chomping at the bit to deal with this because I know what it's about. I mean, again, without metagaming, I sort of know what to expect from this part of the story. So I'm like, heck yeah, I can't wait till we get to the windmill. But now again, it's the same thing of where like Gregory does not want to let Solaire and Ficus go over there on their own, but Leaf has no idea. And he's got to have. I've chosen to that Leaf has the only faith he has, if he has any faith right now, is in fate and like nature, like that the natural order is going to prevail. And so it's like he's willing to for the moment trust that they'll be okay. Even though he's slow to trust people, it's like he doesn't know anyone else in this land, so he's sort of resigned to the fact that he has to trust this group.
Right. Well, and because I could, not have you guys metagame in that the oh dang it, I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. The bargain that Uther made. So I wanted to, and I may not have communicated this as well as I should have, I wanted Uther to have full choice. Because from the time you said redemption arc, I want you to be able to choose whether you accept these things or not, and not feel like there's not a choice. And so the bargain was, if you go in there and leave everything else and just take what's yours, there will be no problems. If you cause any other problem, if you do anything else, you're on your own. So the choice would have been to either accept the whatever I find in there, it doesn't matter, I'm getting my kid and leaving, or go in there, decide I cannot accept this, and you're not promised to leave easily, you now have to fight your way out.
Yeah. Choice number one was like he had already gone too far. It was just here's the reason why I think this is the easiest way to explain it. He has lost all faith in the party and their concern for Tobias.
Right.
So then comes Death, this entity that his tribe has been worshipping since the beginning of their tribe. And Death, his old friend, says, hey, don't worry about them. I got you. And like that was not like I think he found something in that moment. Like I think that's the moment he became like that's the moment he got the cleric level. Because okay, I tried to do things my way. I tried to walk away from my tribe and just do this mission from my shaman.
Oh no, we lost Dane.
There we go.
My back, I got kicked.
Yeah, we hear you.
You're back.
Okay.
Can't see you, but we hear you. But yeah, that was the moment he got his
Take
cleric
the
level.
stream. Who's the DM now?
Half you.
It's
and
you,
half
Nif.
Corndogg.
Sorry. You have the power.
Oh,
I think it's coming. Okay, so
Okay.
So as Discord is starting to crash, but yeah, that choice, I wanted that choice to be there, and I expected a fight. I expected if Uther didn't pick the fight, which I didn't think he would, I expected whoever came in next to pick the fight, and when it was Ficus, Leaf, and Soul that were going to be coming up right behind, I was like, and Bright would have also, but I mean, especially if Soul was the next one in, I was like, yep, good, we get the fight, we get to fix it this way. Uther gets pissed off, but they're going to save everyone anyway, so it'll all be okay, and then everyone can... But instead, it went the other way. Which
Oh,
is
that's
fun.
what I was saying, is that if it's a good thing Ficus was in there, and that's why I sort of had to really be clear about the fact that, like, and it didn't go the way I thought it would or Leaf thought it would when he said that to Uther of like, hey, I'm ready to do this, you make the first move, was kind of what he was saying, and then Uther never made the move, which is really where, like, that's really where I think Leaf got completely confused.
Yep.
Like, up till that point, he was sort of just, like, frustrated that Uther was just charging off headlong without any sort of sense of... It seemed to Leaf without any sense of direction. But then once the target was in his sights, so to speak, and then Uther didn't take that opportunity to, like, you know, to execute this hag, it was like, what are you doing? You killed that innocent priest, but you're not going to kill this person who's clearly guilty of taking this child. I don't get it. So I can't wait to have some of this come out in conversation next week.
Yeah,
We just really need to talk about this, everybody.
Or not next week,
Yeah.
in 2 weeks.
and I was trying to have him talk more and more like a cultist as this was going on to kind of, you know,
Cool.
he's talking about his master and that like his master
Yeah, that's
has
a little
has-
concerning.
That has
Has
upset me, yeah.
has
That,
claims over the lives that were in there, so just leave it alone. Like, I mean, and the thing
Goodness
is though, like it's talking like that is comfortable for him now. It's just like it almost translates to, hey, don't worry about it, y'all. My friend has this. It's cool. I got my boy. My buddy's taking care of this. We can just all go. There's no need for us to do anything because my guy has a handle. But it's like creepy cult talk now. So it's just...
So to if there's nothing else, I'll wrap up our little on-stream time. So I appreciate so much the game. I appreciate chat for hanging out. I appreciate the conversation. Niffer, thank you so much for what you shared and the importance of the safety tools that we use. And again, I do think it went too far. Even it is deserving of apology, definitely.
Is there something that we're going to be using instead of saying, like, the children were getting poked or something? Did I miss something?
Well, so I reverted to how it's written. That's how the hags check to see if the kids have souls. You know, all of you, in one way, shape, or form, know about husks. Whether they're called husks, whether they're called songless, whatever they're called. I think everyone... Gregory looked at me like you didn't get a thing.
I told them at least,
Yes,
so
you've
now
told
all of
them
us
about
know.
So,
No.
Soul, you
Oh,
knew
yeah.
about
You
the
told us at the
theological
campfire,
things.
right? You basically explained that at the campfire.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we know now. I don't think
Yeah.
Leaf knew anything about that beforehand, though, right?
I might not have.
Yeah.
So Ficus and
Mm.
Leaf, now that I'm thinking about it, Ficus and Leaf might have been the only ones that didn't get information about soulless things.
Because, yeah, the rest of us kind of have exposure to it, but I don't know that they necessarily have reason to know that about Barovia.
Yeah, from my neck of the woods.
So it's not. So what Uther and Soul know is it's not just in Barovia. It's just incredibly rare everywhere else. What Bright knows is it's super common in Barovia.
Hmm.
So
Well, that's cool
Um,
because that totally ties into Leaf becoming the monster hunter.
I will say, and you can check the tape later, Uther, so that you know, you heard a voice that sounds an awful lot like an old friend.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm well aware it's probably Strahd.
Oh, yeah.
I just don't want any surprises
Oh yeah, no.
because this is screwing with people's stories and stuff. So
Oh yeah, it's reinforcing something that he wants to believe. And
Nice.
so
cool.
It'll be
All right,
interesting
yeah.
to see that play out.
I'm
good.
so excited. Any last comments, questions, concerns, conundrums, or qualms?
You're the
Hearing
best,
none.
Dane. Thank you, DM Leech.
Thank you.
Thank you
you for
so much,
listening.
thank
everyone.
you.
Check us out. follow all of our Twitters. The information's there. Just flip around Uther and Sol. We had lots of fun with the cameras and Discord bouncing all over the place.
All the videos are archived on Last HP Hero YouTube.
Last HP Hero on YouTube. You can find the back episodes. We are an affiliate now, so there are other odds and ends coming to this stream. We made our first penny, guys, and as promised, that penny will be split 6 ways between us. So be expecting that royalty check any moment. As soon as I figure out how to split a penny into sixths. Thank you. Be good. See you in 2 weeks.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
I
Oh, I guess I'm responsible for.
Oh yeah,
doing
you
the
need to
thing.
do that.
I don't have fun anymore.
See y'all next time.